Hello, everybody. Oh, I'm bigger. I changed the resolution on my camera and it seems to have zoomed in on me a little bit more, warts and all. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope you're all doing well on this, what has been snowy Thursday, which has been kind of interesting. Yeah, I got up this morning and it was bloody snowing. I was freezing my ass off on the way to work. And then it was perfectly fine in London, a bit cold. And then when I got back, I went into CEX on the way back to pick up a few games. And when I came out, it was snowing again. So twice I had to walk through the snow. What are you trying to attack, Cat? What have he found? He's found a little piece of wrapper. I don't even know where that's come from. Yeah. Anyway, that was my day. Basically, cold. How's everybody else? Hope you're all doing well. Hope everything's great in your world. I may not make it to the end. If I fall asleep, someone prod me. Okay. You need to program your dogs to basically never let you sleep. Or have toddlers. Toddlers will do the same. But then again, this time toddlers are asleep. So let me just connect to the chat on my phone. It's a little bit easier to see than on my laptop. There we go. That way I can see what you're all talking about. Let's get some of the power into it as well so it doesn't run out midstream. Shit, that's not a good start. Did I open that? No, I didn't open that. Thank God. I thought I just spilled a cider all over my floor, but I didn't. It broke my toe, though. That wouldn't have been good. So that's going to be saved for last. I'll tap the side of the can just to get the bubbles out, but I'll save that one until last. Have this one first. If I fall asleep, dogs just send me and go to sleep. Yeah, my cats do that. Did you already play the dungeon game today? No, it's ready to go. So I have added just a couple of new things in and made some slight tweaks to the fight algorithm. So fights will be a little bit easier against tougher opponents because your defense score adjusts. So if you have a higher defense score than the enemy, you basically have that much extra chance of a roll. You'll see in the brackets there's a minus number in brackets if your score has been adjusted by your opponent's defense. I added a map in as well, and potions now. Well, two of the potions, the health potion and the cure poison potion, go into your into like a little mini inventory. So you don't consume them straight away. You consume them when you want. So in that respect, there are two new commands: cure and heal. And chest has been changed to open. Stop picking on the SD. Okay, let's just get straight to it. I think, to be honest, let's give you all some points. Oh my god, I really need to figure out a better solution for this screen. I can't read so many zeros I put there. So you're either getting 5,000, 50,000, or 500,000. I have no idea. 50,000. That was spot on. Okay, and I'll start the races for you. So we're going to start with the sprites that we need to do in that screen that we're on. Let me just stop licking my hand. That's disgusting. You lick your bum. Don't lick my hand. Go away. Go over there and lick the other cat or something. I don't know. She sits when I put my hands like down like this, and she comes and sits between my legs, and she looks at me. And when I don't pay any immediate attention, she starts licking my hands. But she's terrible with it. She will do it like constantly, and it's gross. It's gross. She licks her ass, for God's sake. I do not need that on me. So I've crossed the 600 game mark today with the PlayStation games, which is pretty good. Getting there slowly but surely. The shelf is starting to look very, very full. I've got a new one, or two new ones coming next week. So hopefully I get some more room again, because I'm starting to run out of room very, very fast on that shelf. What I need to do is get the non-PlayStation games out of that shelf and into their own section. So there's a bit more room. Because at the moment I've got Game Boy Advance games and some Famicom disc games taking up some room on there, so that will free that up. And then I've got a whole second shelf dedicated to it as well. So one shelf dedicated to everything else, and then 2 shelves dedicated to PlayStation. So, right, okay, let's unplug that as well because that's giving me a bit of grief connecting to my. Where does that go? Oh my god, where does that go? That's a good question. Oh my god, stop it, cat! Seriously. I've also added John's shit. What did he call it? Codebreaker game to the stream, and discovered a nice kind of strict CSS mode that OBS browser has. So you can normally with CSS you can create class names with any case you want, and most browsers will just interpret them differently. Oh, I didn't fix that. I need to put a note on that. Raise font sizes because that's very, very large. It shouldn't be that big. And yeah, so OSK had done that. He'd put one case in the CSS styles and then another case when he was actually applying it, and OBS didn't like that, so it just ignored the styles completely. So, is it just you playing it, Andy? Go on, Andy, you got this. Wait, 2 seconds to join. Game starts instantly. Oh shit! When this is over, I'll restart the overlay. I put let me just change something quickly. I was messing around doing some testing and I didn't reset it back to what it was, so let me just go and set that up. Yeah, here it is. But I do apologize for that. I'll restart the overlay so you'll get another version of it as well when this game's over with. So it's just Andy on his own. Andy's going to do it now. Okay, so let's have a look. So I did notice 2 things about these. One thing, I'm not sure whether it matters right now, but if I just advance, so I put it in YouTube on the Switch. Stop licking my hand, go away. Put it on the YouTube version because I can advance frame at a time in this. So you'll notice there that there's a rocket missing, and the reason there's a rocket missing is because they are proximity triggered. But it's actually not there at all. Where's it gone? Did I skip? I might skip past it. Hang on. Let me just play it. Okay, so they're going to get kicked out of here in a minute. One of them's decided to sprint across the room now. There we go. Right, so if I just advance this a little bit. Why has it been so slow to advance? You see, this rocket sets off immediately. So there does seem to be a horizontal proximity to it. So I might have to add that in at some point. I think for now we'll just leave it. We'll just leave it as it is, and if there's more of these, then we'll add them in. I think there might be a few more on other screens. So Andy just Andy going for it. So did you have? Okay, yeah. So you're picking potions, so that's good. So you can see the potions at the bottom there. It's kind of hard for me to see on that screen, to be honest. Yeah, quick guys. You picked 2 potions up. You did, didn't you? Okay, so we need to look at these frames and basically duplicate them. So it seems to have a handful. Oh, actually, I might be able to spot these. Actually, I can draw these. These are going to be so simple to draw. There's really nothing to them at all. If I just how can I do this? If I just take a snippet of it like that, I can see it and zoom in on it. there's really not a lot to it. So what I'll do is I'll put these into a sprite right at the top, and I'll create a little trail behind it, and maybe if we've got performance left over on some of the screens when I do the second run of this and the polish, I will add. Let me open the gate base sprites. There we go. I know it wasn't base sprites we were doing it in, was it? We were going to do it in somewhere else. Yeah, I think we'll import these in line. So let's create a new project for these. So we'll just use this one. What was I going to say? Yeah, if there's enough performance left over when I get to the polish stage, what I'll do is I'll add in. Snippy's missing pixels on each wing. Oh yeah, at the bottom there must be another frame before it. Yeah, there's another frame before it. I was going to say, yeah, I will add in actual particles behind it. Done. Did you just complete it? Oh right, I thought you completed it. All right, let me restart the overlay. You're still gonna have to wait for the thing, but if I don't do this, every game will start in 5 seconds. So one, yes, no, you died. Okay. Okay, so that should be good now, but again, you will have to wait for the next run. So you get 2 goes of this before you get to play Codebreaker. Anyway, I think the improvements to the game will make it slightly easier. I've got one more thing I want to do before the weekend, or before tomorrow. Oh yeah, I need to start the quiz again, don't I? Which is to add some difficulty scaling in as well, so the monsters will get easier or harder depending on how well you did previously. You'll have like a stop licking me. You'll have like a score. I think you'll start on like 1500 basically, and then you will every action you take in the game will have either a positive or negative score effect. And then at the end, that score will be reduced down a little bit and added to your either added or subtracted, whichever way it goes, to your kind of global score, and then that will be used to generate the map next time. So a lower score will mean things like possibly a slightly smaller map, possibly less poison or more cure poisons or more heals or more chance of getting the weapons, all sorts of little things like that. I've got a few ideas. I do need to investigate and experiment a little bit. All right, so let's do this. So I think this frame is exactly the same as this frame, but as Proud pointed out, there's a bit missing off the wing. I think it was Proud pointed out in between all the spam. Wow, I don't know what it was. SP pointed it out. Sorry. Thank you. Okay, so we turn off multicolor mode. We'll turn the sprite on to set it to white, and then let's just copy this. So I'll leave one gap on the side for the wings here. So we won't do straight away there. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, that's where we'll start drawing from. That's 2 pixels. Thank you very much, Doxter, for the resub. Appreciate it as ever. I think the alerts at the not the alerts, the little messages that appear at the top of the screen, I think they're correct now. So it should say that Doxter was the last sub when it pops up. If it's worked. It hasn't worked. Okay, I don't know what causes that to work then. It did update for some reason, so the names are different to what they have been for months. But obviously it's not updating quick enough, so okay, so we need 2 frames. One frame that looks like this with the wings on. So we'll do this frame and copy it, and then add the extra crap in. Is that 2 or is it 3? It looks like 2, which means that is that. Okay. We'll copy that frame. Oh, we already had one in there. She wouldn't do that. And then this just has these bits on it as well. So you can see in there, and then if I go back a frame, you can barely see it, but it is there. So that's when they're parked. Then when they take off, it goes through a couple of. I can work out what that is actually without having to snip it. But that is essentially. Let's get rid of all of these. Oh shit, that was too far. There we go. That is essentially the top the same, and then these have gone. That I think. Ooh. It's weird. They seem to change at fairly kind of different times. It doesn't seem to be consistent how they change, but so this frame is with the sides taken off basically, so I'm guessing it's like this to be about right. And oh damn it, they move pretty fast as well, so we do need to make them move quick. Oh, I'm the wrong way. Backwards. So there were some sprite glitches. I'm not going to worry too much about the sprite glitches right now. That's something I will look at a bit later on. I want to get through as many screens as possible and worry about kind of the larger bugs that really causing an issue later on. I think that bug is to do with the explosions. That's my. I think it was just a straight line sticking out with particles. Oh, okay. Let's have a look. Let's rewind it a bit. And how does the animation work? So it seems. Oh, it does go through all the phrases. Oh yeah, you're right. It is. Yep, you were right. It is a straight line. Thank you. Well done, SP. I'm going to give you 5 points for that because I would not have spotted that at all. I'm feeling generous with the points tonight. And yeah, hey Doctor, thank you very much for the resub. Appreciate it. So I do need to. I've been so kind of distracted by the stream game that I haven't done the challenge for this month yet, and I've got to do that by Saturday. So I will probably do that tomorrow. It shouldn't take too long. I probably only need to spend about half an hour to an hour to do it, but it won't take that long because I've already got the kind of framework in place from previous challenges. I just need to adjust it for this challenge. Hey, that's not coding. That's how generous I'm feeling tonight. Still not going to give points for typos in comments, but I'm happy to give them out for spotting something that would have taken away from the original design. It looks really zoomed in, that camera. It's weird. I might have to move the camera back at some point. Don't like it. Okay, so now I want to know how does the animation actually work. So it looks like it's only 4 frames. It does seem to cycle through all the frames. I'm assuming it ping pongs between them all. I can't imagine it doing. Oh, damn it! I've done it again. I can't imagine it not doing that. What are you doing? Stop it! Right, I'm just going to kick one of the cats out. Go on, out. Go on, out. You can't stay in here every day if you go out. They're in a really destructive mood today. I came home to a pizza flyer. Someone had delivered a pizza flyer, and the cats had decided that it was obviously very tasty. Probably because it had pictures of pizza on it. I don't know, but they absolutely destroyed it. So there was just a sea of tiny pieces, like confetti, just dotted around everywhere. They've got a thing for doing that at the moment. I think there's something about paper that they particularly like. I'm not sure what it is, but they seem to like destroying it. Okay, so let's have a look at the animation. So, oh, I didn't see what it did then. So it goes. Okay, yeah, so it does ping pong between them. All right. Make pizza for your log. I mean, I'm sure you mean dog. Unless you've got a pet log, I don't know. Okay, so that's the animation that we need to do here. Okay, so this is something we don't have yet in the enemies thing. The enemies literally just have one frame, so we can add animation frames to these as well. So we can kind of shoehorn that into the I'm not even shoehorn it in. It belongs to be in it. Oh, also, I got this yesterday. So it's a service remote control for my TV. So it lets me enter all the engineer menus and stuff. And I managed to turn the auto brightness dimming shit off. So I can just because I have screensavers and stuff. So if I'm not active on the computer, then the screensaver comes on after about a minute or two. But it was just so annoying having to keep open this window just to make the brightness go up. Now I don't have to. It's much better. Also, there was a color same, which has improved the look of the colors as well, which is kind of nice. All right, so I want to add them into here. So first of all, let's save this file because I think this is about right. We'll add a particle trail in as well because when they're on the ground, you're not going to see the particle trail because it's going to be hidden in the scenery. So I don't really care. Oh no, it's not going to be hidden in the scenery. Look. Okay, I'm not going to put them in there right now. I'm just going to leave them out. What I might do is use actual particles if there's more space for it. Better browns, yeah. These don't look brown. These, oh, my G, this is the Switch. This isn't C64. All right. Fine. Okay, so we've got a thing. I can't remember what it's called now. Is it like begin sprite area or something? Or sprite area or something. So it's like a macro that we've created. Just start sprite area. That's the one. So this just ensures that sprites are aligned correctly. So they're aligned to a 64-byte boundary, so they don't look weird. And then we just need to import a binary, which will be whatever we decide it's going to be in a second. So let's go and have a look what our format is for these normally. So we do have some assets already that we've set up. We've got sprites in here. These are our they're the so this would be we've got aim turret sprites. So this would be rocket sprites. So let's save it as rocket sprites. So this is going to take up quarter of a kilobyte. This is not bad. Rockets. Jesus. Oh my god. I've been eyeing up. Thank you very much, Andy, for the gift sub to Derek Morris. Welcome along, Derek. Good to see you in here. You can field any questions. Yeah, I've been eyeing up a copy of God of War 3, I think it is, but a press kit version. So for those of you who don't know, what tends to happen on reviews is the press will get like special versions of the game. Usually it's just going to be the game in a very basic CD case. That's about it. But occasionally some games, they give out real kind of special versions of it. And God of War 3 was one of those. It comes in a really nice wooden kind of chest, I guess you would call it. Comes in like a wooden chest, and it has like a really nice kind of scroll, like parchment scroll, wrapped in some kind of I guess you would call it burlap kind of tie on it and stuff, and a few other kind of nice things in it as well. It looks really, really good, but it's super rare and it's worth about 300 quid. But I saw someone selling one today for about 200, and I was toying with the idea of getting it, but I'm going to hold off a little bit because in fact I don't even have that one. I don't have God of War at all, and I don't really want to spend 200 quid on something, but it just looked so nice. Have that for Auto Modelista. Cool. Yeah, there's a few, isn't there? There's a few different ones as well that you can get. Most of them are just in normal CD cases, but you do occasionally get one that's kitted out really nicely and just looks really, really special. And the rarity of them means that they do go for kind of quite high prices. Even the ones in just the CD cases go for quite high prices. Yeah, good to have you here, Derek. Good to have you here. Okay, so let's import this. Oh, we need to export it first. Okay, so let's export binary, export sprite set. We don't need the attributes from this, so we don't need to export that, and we'll stick it in here. And we'll just follow the same convention here, which is just the same as our SPD file. .bin. Sprite pad is fine, and then we're going to import the binary here. So again, this is going to give us this is doing this behind the scenes. It's just doing that, and it's just ensuring that when I import these sprites, they sit on a 64-byte boundary. Now this is Rocket Sprites .bin. Did I do dot? No, still getting used to this keyboard. This will be in assets bin. So assets bin. There we go. Right, so the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a label here. I'm going to call it, what should I call it? I'll call it Rocket Sprite so it matches. And the reason I'm doing that is so that I can reference it if I need to create some references up here. So the reason we're importing the sprites in here is because this is dynamic code. It makes sense if you import enemies, then we use that room at least to import some enemy sprites with it as well. It may be that we run out of room doing it this way, and instead we have to import the sprites that we require for that screen, in which case we can do that in a slightly different way. I will have to have a think about exactly how to do that, but I think for now we've probably got enough room to import most of these. Most of the sprites are static anyway. This is one of the few that isn't. So, oh, there you go. Is it working with the timer now? It still seems to be quite quick, but why isn't the import part of the macro? That's a good point, actually. I mean, it could be, but then you still need to put the label in as well. So. Did that give you a whole minute? It didn't seem like a minute. Oh, it was 60 seconds. Okay. Okay, cool. It just happened. It just seemed to go quickly. So getting a new one in a week. What you want about getting a new one in a week? Trying to think what I said now. I forgot what I said. So who's playing? Is it just two of you playing? All right. I'm determined for one of you to actually finish this game tonight. So, all right. Let's go ahead and have a think how we're going to implement this. Right. So, at the moment, what are we doing when we import enemies? Let's go and have a look at the screen load code. So, at the moment, this is what we're doing. We're adding some basic deltas in and some enemy sprites. We could add some extra data in here, but I think probably the best way to do it is we'll assume that enemies are static unless we say otherwise. If we say otherwise, then we'll add in enemy animation like that. I think we'll make a macro for that, and basically what we'll do is we'll pass in an index for the enemy. So this is the index we've got here. The reason it's this index is because this is the index of the behaviors that we're adding. Oh, it's not those ones, it's this one up here. Sorry. So every time you add an enemy, it gets added to the list, and obviously the index increments. So the first enemy you add will be 0, second one will be 1, and so on. So we need to then use that to reference the enemy in the macro when we're doing the other ones. Isn't animation also kind of a behavior? Yes, it could essentially do that. The problem is we don't have a way of passing in parameters into the behaviors at the moment. But what we could do is we could apply enemy animation data and then have the behavior, have a animation behavior which does the so for instance ping pong. No, don't pluck my chair. Oh my god, are these cats? Oh, don't pluck that at all, please. Thank you. You're usually well behaved. Carry on being good. Actually, I'd say that she was the one that knocked the stuff off the shelf. So, so yeah, actually, I think we'll combine two things here. So we'll add the animation, and then we'll add a behavior which actually triggers the animation. So at the moment, behaviors we can put how many behaviors can be scripted per screen. It's per enemy. I've put spikes everywhere so the cats can't do anything. So the spikes on these shells. I can't take them off. Oh no, I can on the back. So I put these things up. So they're like little. I don't know if you can see that. They're like little plastic mats of kind of. They're not like terribly sharp. They're just uncomfortable. And I've got them all over the front of the shell, so they're stuck down on the front of the shell, so they can't knock them off. And then there's some strips on the back to stop them. And I've got them across my windowsill because they kept going on the windowsill, and with the big TV there, I'm really scared they're going to knock the TV or the PlayStation over. So I put them there, and I put them on top of my computer, and I put them on top of the soundbar because what they kept doing was sitting on top of the Sonos soundbar, and the Sonos soundbar was it's got like touch sensitive buttons on the top, so they would just turn the behaviors up. I'm reading the thing. Turn the volume up. How many behaviors can be scripted per screen? So we can have as many behaviors as we want. It's on a per enemy basis. Currently, the behaviors are set up to deal with 4 behaviors, I believe. But we can extend that if we need to. So far, I don't think we need to. I think flash red is probably going to be removed. I think all enemies flash red. So that's not needed. That controlled all the alien ways. Yeah, well, actually, there's 2. So we've got 2 systems in place that are kind of scripts. One is the enemy behavior system, which uses the stack to basically push a load of behaviors onto the stack, and then just returns. So it immediately starts processing those behaviors one at a time. That's this system here. That's done on a per enemy per frame basis. So every frame, each one of these enemies will run a flash red, that apply delta, and the bounce behavior. And these ones will do the flash red, apply delta, explode on contact. Apply delta could be something that's also automatic. If there is a delta, it applies it. I mean, that's fairly simple, right? Then the only other thing we'd need is bounce. So I think these 2 could probably be removed at some point. So that's one set that we've got, but we've also got the screen scriptings as well. So if we look at screen 24, we've got the entity script that we made. So the entity script is a bit more involved, and this is for stuff that isn't as deterministic or doesn't follow a kind of a normal pattern. In this case, it happens on entering a screen. This screen script runs basically, which just waits a few seconds, a quarter of a second actually, and then closes this particular door and then ends the script. It's a very small script, but we have the ability to extend this with more and more things. Okay, now she's going mental as well. Okay, I'm gonna kick you out as well. Go on, I don't want you knocking anything out. Go on, go out. Go and play with them. They want to play with you. If you're in a playful mood, play together. There we go. From 3 cats down to 1, and then down to 0. So yeah, this is another thing. But yeah, together these can be combined to do all sorts of kind of crazy things, and it gives us the ability to do it with something which is a bit easier to read than just pages and pages of cat skin. A bit easier to do than just a bit easier to read than just pages and pages of assembly. So while it is still obviously assembly behind the scenes, adding these behaviors in like this makes it much easier to read, and easier to kind of tweak and add things to. The downside of this is it kind of hides the size of the code. You don't really see how much code you're writing. I mean, kind of that this behavior is a certain size, this behavior is a certain size, but what you don't see is well, not the behavior, the macro that adds the behavior, but what you don't see is it all the time. So you don't look and say, oh, I've used this much code. So it's always good to keep an eye on stuff. Maybe I'll add cat skin gloves into the game. I'm really considering putting some cosmetic stuff in there as well for whoever started the game. So, oh yeah, that's not a bad idea. Always write to the macros how many ops it is. Yeah, that's not a bad idea at all. So you put it in here somewhere in the name. I mean, it doesn't matter too much because I am keeping an eye on the memory as we compile, as we build. So it's not too bad. But it's not a bad idea either. Okay, so in that case, we need to add the animations. So first of all, we need to go into the enemy file and we need to create some room in the data for it. So you can see there's a lot of data in here already. And you can see the behaviors has max behaviors times 2, listed behavior function calls, maximum number of behaviors times 2. So we use times 2 because it's a 16-bit value, and maximum behaviors is a constant, so it's not in here, it's in constants, which is down here somewhere. And max behaviors is 4, so we can change that if we want to, but at the moment it's 4. It should be a power of 2, and the reason it should be a power of 2 is because of the way that the behavior is selected from the list. It uses some bit shifting to do that. So if we were to make that a non-power of 2, it would break that. So for speed, we keep that. So just a reminder how that works as well. Let me just show you where that is. Behaviors, me and enemies. Here we go. So there is this little macro. So we created this function to basically work out, given the number of behaviors, the number of bytes that a single behavior list takes up. So in this case, 8 behaviors. This works out what the power of 2 is there. So 2 to the power of 3 in this case. And so it does 3 shifts. So that allows us to change it, and it will change the code accordingly. But you can see it shifts the values, which creates a pointer into the behaviors. And then we just push those behaviors onto the stack. And then because they're on the stack, when we do a return, it will jump straight into those behaviors. And then when that behavior ends, it will jump to the next behavior, and so on and so on and so on. Which means we don't have to kind of manually call them. We're just using the stack to do the work for us, which is quicker than doing jumps or JSRs. So because we save 3 or 6 cycles. Thank you, DBF00, for the follow. Oh, somebody with what is that? That's hang on, my brain's not working. 16, 20-bit, a 20-bit number. God, my brain is really not working today. It's snow. It's the snow. It's frozen my brain. It needs heat. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying this lovely, lovely Thursday, and that the world is treating you well and not freezing your ass off like it is me. Okay, so in that respect, what do we need to do? Okay, so we need to add animations. So an animation really, we could do this in 2 ways, right? We can store a list of frames, or we can provide a from and a to. Personally, I prefer the from and the to approach. It's unlikely we're going to need frames that are kind of randomly sorted out. What we've done down here is we've imported the frames, in sequence here, and that's likely to be the case for all the enemies as well. So for now, I'm just going to put a from animation from and animation to. They will start at 0, and the reason they'll start at 0 is this will be used as a check to see animation 2. They will be used as a check to see if the animation exists or not. If it doesn't exist, then it will just carry on using this sprite pointer as normal. If it does exist, then the sprite pointer will be updated to match this list. And I'm going to add in animation direction here. So the animation direction will default to 1 in this case. I'm going to put it as 0 because when we actually, it's just so everything's 0. I don't know why, it just feels wrong to set it to 1 automatically here. It would have to be reset anyway. So the idea will be is by default, when you add an animation, it's going to add the from and the to in here, and the direction is going to be set to 1. So by default, it's going to just move through the animation. When it gets to the end, it will go back to the beginning again. There will be 2 animation behaviors that we can add. There will be animation, just animate basically, animate loop, and there'll be animate ping pong loop. So animate loop will just keep going in one direction. Animate ping pong loop will get to the end and then reverse direction and go back and just keep doing that as well, which is the behavior that we want for this. For now, we'll just put the ping pong one in. Well, we can put both in. It's really not too big a deal to do. So these are the values we need to fill in. So let's go and have a look how we're going to do that with our macro. So the macro, so we need a from frame and a to frame. So this is where we need to actually grab some details. So there is another macro we made. It's all about the macros at the moment, which I believe is it get sprite pointer or something? There we go. this gets the sprite pointer for a label. So all this does is divide the address by 64 or 40 in hex, and that will give us a sprite pointer. Because we have this label down here, Rocket Sprites, we can actually set that in here really easily, right? So we're going to our screen. So we want a from, so we will say get sprite. Was it capital G? I think it was capital G, wasn't it? I wasn't paying attention. Yeah. Just copy that exactly. Get sprite pointer, and then we pass in the enemies. It's like I've forgotten the capital. I change things so often. I know it's capitalized, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. I forget all the time how I've set the. Oh, it's right beneath me as well. I don't know why I didn't see that. Enemies dot rocket sprites. There we go. So that's our from, and our to will be the same +3 because we know it's a full frame animation. And we don't need to set the direction in here. Oh, let's actually pass the direction because you may want to start in reverse for some reason. Okay, so let's copy that and go and have a look at the screen macros that we need to add this into. So again, we want to keep these screen macros as small as possible and try and use functions, actual kind of functions that we jump to where possible. Most of them, though, don't actually need very much in the way of this, and I think this is going to be one as well. So what do we need to do? Okay, so we've got an index here. So we need to grab that value. We'll do it with the X register, and this will be index. So I'm going to load index into our X register, and then what do we need to do? Well, we need to get the pointer. So pointer from and pointer to and direction. That's it. So yeah, actually we don't need to do anything in terms of function calls because this is as small as it's going to be. We're not going to save any by jumping into another routine. So for instance, on actually aim turret could probably be split as well. I mean, look at the size of that. That's quite large. Yeah, this probably wants trimming down a bit at some point. But there are some like this one, for instance. There's this piece of code here, which is the same all the time. So we jump into this routine here to save the macro from having to keep adding this code every time we use it. Get animation index. What's that? Index pointer. What is get animation index? I have no idea what that is. Wow, you can tell I've done these so long ago. Wait, do we already? I think we already have an animation. We do on screen 10, I believe it is. Oh, we're already doing this. Okay, we're already doing this. Let me have a think about this. So we add a sprite in. And then we grab these indices here. And see, this is just a ping pong loop as well. So actually, this would probably be better done using this method instead. Just think about this a little bit, because so this, why is this doing? This is the things on the first screen, the little orbs on the first screen. That's why I barely remember it, because it's one of the first things I did. This is really, really old code, and this is basically updating both of those orbs on here. So actually, what this is doing, this is actually not tied to any sprite at all. This is just getting an index from here and applying it to two sprites, so that both sprites match. So we're not setting up anywhere here. We're just pointing it to a list. We're saying how often it should be and the length of the list. And it's just going through at this speed, adding them in. Can we make use of that? It is kind of different, isn't it? Because this is enemies, so this is a little bit different. I'm gonna do it differently. If I run out of room, I can come back and change that. Um, not sure the best way to approach that, so I think I'll leave that for now. So what I will do is I'll just do this new section. So let's add our animations in. Okay, so pointer from. So we're going to load accumulator with pointer from immediate mode. Store that at enemies data anim from comma x. X is our index into the sprite, into the enemy array. And then there's basically 3 of these. So there's pointer from, pointer to, which goes to anim2, and then direction, which goes to anim direction. Okay, so that's all we need to add the animation in. Let's go back to here again. And this is basically going to be the same for all of these sprites here. So let's add these all in. So we're going to have these, at the moment they're automatically firing, but we may want to adjust some of the behaviors later on. So I'm going to actually separate these a little bit like that. Then we can see these are the behaviors. This is the setup. So behaviors setup, behaviors and setup. I'll do this. It's more down here, isn't it? So, behaviors setup. It's all about trying to read it easier when you come to it. So what I'm thinking is, if we need to change this later on, there's 2 things that would need to happen. One, we would need to only start shooting the rockets when they're active. So when you come within a certain range of the what you want now, codebreaker. Yes, learn a new programming language. I did not tell it to say that. That's what people are here for, Shimmerbot. God damn it. Well, not new. I mean, it's quite old, but yeah. So they would activate when you get in horizontal range of them. So it doesn't matter where you are vertically, as long as you're as long as the horizontal distance is right, they will shoot. Which kind of makes sense because you want to be able to shoot when you're far away from it, but it's still aim at you. So that would be one thing. But what that would do is it would fundamentally change how the animation works, because that means if the rocket is on the ground, it needs to not animate until it fires. So another reason I think the animation behavior is good. Now, can we utilize screen scripts for that? I don't think we can. But we could have a behavior that changes behaviors. No. I'm trying to think how. Trying to think how this would work. So, wait, did that not go in, that number? Oh, it's steps. Okay. It looked like the game was broken. Oh no, it has gone in. All right, there we go. Because in a moment, these are just going to immediately shoot across the screen. But what would be good is if the behavior could say, okay, don't do anything, just do the flash red, and then activate on proximity or something. Okay, I'm just going to carry on as we are for now, and I'm going to have a think about that in the meantime, how best to do that. Because what it could be, you could add 2 sets of behaviors in, right? So you could have your initial 4 behaviors, but then there might be another set of 4, and you could have it switch between the 2, maybe. So you've got an initial behavior and then a secondary behavior. It could be used for proximity stuff, but it also could be used for it's something that switches behaviors depending on something that's happening. So you can have something which just kind of moves around a little bit, but when the enemy gets close, it starts chasing. When the player gets close, it starts chasing it, sort of thing. I mean, I don't know if that's even a thing in this game, but we could use it for that sort of thing. Okay, so I think for now we'll just apply the behaviors as they are and have a think how we might want to switch them later if we do need to do it. This is the only thing I can think of where it would be potentially necessary. I'm just trying to think how you could get around that somehow. I mean, you could have an active component. Yeah, let's just carry on as we are for now, right? So let's add the animations into these things. All right, so we've got the animations in here. So what we need to do is in the update, we need to actually check for these animations as well. And well, actually, no, we don't even need to check for them. We just need to call, because it doesn't matter if we check for them or not. It doesn't matter if the data is there or not if we don't use it. So we don't actually need to do a check. So what we would do, not on these ones, on this one, we can put a behavior in. Well, that's explode on contact. It doesn't matter if we do it after that or not. Behavior animate ping pong loop, and it's not capitalized. So animate ping, stop ping pong loop like that. So let's put those in here. Change that value to match. And I think what we'll do for testing purposes is we'll just leave the middle one not actually doing anything. So I'm just going to duplicate that behavior so it just flashes red twice. Just so that the order is the same and I don't have to keep changing the number. I can just delete that line then. Okay, so this middle one's not going to move and we should be able to see the ping pong loop happen. Okay, so animate ping pong loop. So enemies, where are you? There you are. Behaviors ping pong loop. Okay, so ping pong loop is going to be really simple. Let's start by doing the loop and then we'll just we'll copy it and create a ping pong loop version of it. So these are the behaviors. Take the most simple one that's here and have a look. Okay, so let's keep the header for each of these so we don't forget that we need to keep the Y register, but we can do whatever the hell we want with the X register. So let's start from the beginning. So what do we need? We need to take the current sprite pointer. Oh, we need a frame timer as well. I tell you what, for now we'll just we'll hard code the frame timer, but we'll add a value in later for that in the macro, so you can set the speed as well, an optional value, I think. We'll make the speed. So this will be the default speed, but if we need to change it, we can do. So we'll start by loading the frame timer, doing our usual, and it with 03. Why is that like that? 03, some British keyboard again. And if it's equal to 0, we go ahead and carry on the code. Otherwise, we're going to exit. Right. So here we are. There's our new exit from this. So what do we need to do? Oh, and I put it in the wrong. Oh, no, that's right. So this is called ping pong loop. Actually, this one's loop. We'll do loop first, and then we'll do ping pong loop. Well, I should call it ping pong loop because then we can test it, and then we'll copy it and rename it. Okay, so the initial, just a straightforward loop is just going to take the data dot sprite pointer, that one. Actually, no, it's going to. Oh, we don't have an animation index either, do we? That's something else we need. All right. Oh, no, it's not an anim index, is it? We just increment until we reach the 2. Yeah. It's because I'm thinking about this in a completely different way. It's not an animation index. We just increment until we reach the 2. Where's it gone? Down here. So actually the easiest way to do this is to increment that value. Can we do that comma Y? I don't think we can. This is one where I always forget. Increment comma Y. No, okay, we can do comma X. Okay, so in that case, the best way to do this is just to load and add ping pong direction. Yeah, what? Yeah, we've got direction. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that thing, we're going to add our direction in here. So we've already got the direction. What was it? What was it called? Anim direction. There we go. Again, with so that's fine. That's still fine. It still wrote computer wins. Computer always wins. Did you get beat by it? Said Nicomo's go after you played and ended on let's go and computer's turn. Okay, if you can clip that and then share that with John with Old School Coder when he's got time, because that's that'll be for him to sort out there. Okay, so we add the animation direction and we store that here. So that's always going to remain the same no matter which direction we go in. Now this is just going to be a normal loop. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to let's just write normal loop or forward loop. All right. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to compare now the value here to data.anim2, y, and that should work. Because please tell me compare wise one. This is what I hate about the C64. Yeah, okay, so you can do compare on all of them. All right, that's one. Just the increment that's the weird one. If that's not equal, we jump ahead to, we'll call this exit now because that is going to be the exit. Actually, let's change this to branch if not equal exit, and we can save a byte up here as well. Otherwise, what we need to do is we need to change the value. So actually, let's call it set. Actually, let's do set like that. I put this here like that. Okay, so we are adding direction. Now, currently, this is only going to be testing forwards, but the end result is we'll store it here. If it's the wrong value, i.e., it's reached the animation 2 value, then on the next frame, oh no, it needs to be if it's more than animation. Wait, hang on, animation 2. Wait, hang on. This depends if it's a ping pong loop. So if it's a normal loop, it needs to go past the value. If it goes right, hang on. So if you're doing right a normal loop, you'd go, let's say frame 0 to 3. You go 0, 1, 2, 3. I'm at 3, but I don't want to set it to be back to 0 yet. I want it to be on the next frame, so it would have to get to 4. So if this frame took it to 4, so the animation 2 would be more than 1, then it would set it to 0. So in this case, it would be not like that. That would set it back to 0. So that means 2 is plus 1, which we can do in the macro. But let's think about this from a ping pong point of view. So if we're doing ping pong, it would be 0, 1, 2, 3, and it wouldn't get to 4. So we'd have to check. If it did get to 4, what would we do? Well, we'd go back 1, back 2 actually, and change the direction. We've got 1, 2. Yeah, okay. So anim 2 needs plus 1. All right. So seems like it's similar, but yeah, I think it's sometimes if you check the win condition and sometimes you can think, oh, okay, well, there's in that case, 6 numbers that have been entered. The grid is full, therefore it's game over. Okay, so we just need to add 1 into the macro down here. So we're going to take our pointer 2. We're going to add 1. And this makes the comparison better. So I'm going to put a little note here. Add 1, so when comparing during standard loop. So add one so compare easier during standard loop. Okay. So now we're comparing, and then only then do we reset. So this is just a normal loop at the moment. It starts about and comes back. So let's test that. Those frames should actually animate now, if all has gone well and it builds without any failures. It seems to be doing. Didn't see. Oh no, it hasn't. There we go. Unknown symbol enemies, because it should be capital. And that's in. Is that in the macros? This should be. I mean, it's right up there, and I just completely ignored it. I forget that in this game I made all the namespaces capitalized for some reason. I mean, it's a standard. It might not be the right standard. What happened then? What's going on here? Why is that not loading? What's going on? Oh, there's another Rocket Sprite's not present on type label value. It is there though. I've seen it there. Or did I not put the label on the end? Rocket Sprites is there, yeah. And oh, did I? I've put it in the wrong. I put it in the wrong scope. I have put it in the wrong scope. That's why. It should be. Oh my god, there's a lot there. It should be in here. This is the actual cartridge data, like the cartridge pseudocode block, and this is the actually inside the enemy's namespace. So that's why that was failing. Yeah, it is completely. It's absolutely mixed all over the show in this. It's a mess, but I've just kind of I've stuck to the mess now. It is really all over the show. I have some kind of standard, but it's not. I mean, it's really badly followed. I've definitely tried to keep all the methods capitalized and the labels lowercase. But beyond that, I mean, look, I mean, it's all over the show in here. Sometimes these data objects have capitalized things. It is really all over the place. I don't quite get it. I still didn't build, did it? Why is it not building? Behavior animate ping pong loop. Behavior animate. I could just call behavior ping pong loop. I don't know why I'm calling it. It'd be much shorter, wouldn't it? Which is what it is called. So let's just do that. Yeah, it's a bit easier to read, isn't it, than a massive thing like that. There we go. Makes more sense. Keeps it kind of the same size as the other ones. Let's make sure that is what I put in here. I need more cider. That's what I need. I'm not drinking fast enough. That's what's hindering me here, I think. Also using underscore sometimes. Yes, I do that quite a lot. Do you know what's not helped? Not actually being in a coding team for 2 years has definitely made me worse as well. I've noticed that when I was doing my JavaScript, when I was doing the stream game. You'll see if you look in the code in there, it's a mess. It really is a mess. Yeah, for those things, I try to keep, well, not these, but for the behaviors, it's more about just keeping the kind of method type, if you like, away from the name. So this is what the behavior is, and this is just a marker. I mean, it would be just. I mean, it would make sense like that as well, but I don't know. I don't know what the thing is. So I don't know why the reason I'm doing all this, but can't open file assets bin. Okay, why can't I open that? Let me have a look at another file to remember how we referenced it from there. Because it may be it's relative to this file, so I have to go back to. That's right. So I have to do this for it to work. I think we're good now. Yeah, there we go. All right. So when I was deving, when I was a developer rather than a cybersecurity analyst, I was doing code reviews, and I'd be really anal about these things. I would really kind of pick people up on these. But since I've stopped, I've kind of cared less and less about it. But to be honest, I've never really cared that much in assembly anyway. Um, okay, well, it animated something. I'm not sure what it did. So this should be animated now, and it's not. It's not doing anything. So that's what we're looking at. Let's ignore the other ones for now, and the fact that they behaved really weirdly. And let's just have a look why that one's not animating or moving or doing anything. So that is this one here. Which really let's just put this in. Let's just put that one behavior in. Let's get rid of that. Let's turn that off. Let's turn that off. Let's turn everything off. Let's turn the animations off at the end of these as well. So we're not distracted by those things going weird, and see what happens to this middle one. So this should just be animating, just that one on its own. Reverse camel case. Does it execute the behavior? That's why I've just stopped to see what it's actually doing. It doesn't look like it because it's just staying static here. It doesn't seem to be doing anything. So let's put some border color changes in the behavior and see if it's happening. We just double check it is actually would be doing something. So it will be taking the frame timer, yeah, taking the sprite pointer, adding the direction in. Do we add the direction in? I think we did, didn't we? Yeah, there. Okay, and we are passing in 1 here as well. Yeah, so we're definitely doing the right thing. Okay, let's put a border increment here. So we should be seeing, where would it be? Where would it be the best place? Put it here at the end. So I'm going to play Wipeout tomorrow as well. So I said I would carry on playing that, and I do want to play that tomorrow. I did get today actually. I think it was Andy that was talking about this. I got Until Dawn as well, which I haven't played, so I might play that at some point. They include it in the jump table. It shouldn't need to be included. The jump. I don't think we have a jump table, do we? I think it's just pushed onto the stack. That was the whole point of the stack, to avoid needing a jump table and to make it slightly more efficient. It doesn't need anything to do. We'll see anyway if we activate it or not. So the behavior is executing. So we're getting border flashes. We can see it's happening at a slower rate, so that's good. Yeah, entity scripts have the table, because entity scripts do need to jump because they're not all chained together. So yeah, I might have to look into Until Dawn because I do want to kind of play 2 games for platinums at the same time. So what happens when you hover over it? Hover over. Oh, I'll die if I sit over it. And the problem is it doesn't seem to be doing this animation at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the value that we're storing here, and I'm going to store it in the border as well. So in theory, this should flash the border between 4 colors. If it's not flashing the border between 4 colors, then we've got a problem here. The from and to isn't working, probably because the sprite pointer is incorrect. Which actually is that's the problem. That is the problem. I know what the problem is. All right. So what we need to do is when we set an animation, we also need to immediately set the sprite pointer to the from. Because what we're doing at the moment is we're just passing in any old sprite pointer. We're passing in the mine sprite pointer, which we did for testing. But what we can do in the screen macro in here is when we grab the from, we can also store that at. That should fix our issue. Come on. So I want to get this kind of like I said, I'm just kind of trying to rush through the screens now, get as much as we can done. Oh, it still isn't animated. Why is it stuck on that one? Hang on, did I save that file? I did save it. Okay, so load the pointer from store animation from index. Okay, sprite pointer there. Let's just check what's happening in the screen. So we add the sprite, we give it this sprite pointer at the moment, which is obviously wrong. But then we do this, which should set the sprite pointer based on the rocket sprites. Rocket sprites +3. So it should be setting the. Oh, okay. Hang on. These are wrong here as well. So this should be 2, and this should be 1. And that should be 0. That's why it wasn't working. It didn't have the right indexing. That's all. I didn't set the index. We could actually make this just remember the previous index. We could use the macros to do that. So I'm going to look at that because that would be really handy to do. So the way we can do that, because it's a macro, what happens is this macro gets executed. By execute, I just mean it goes in, it just inserts all this code in. But if you've got other code in here, when it inserts it, if you've got like the pre kind of processor directives, it will do some stuff in here to. Oh no, it won't work actually because we'd need to store that. We'd need to reset it. No, it's not going to work. I don't think. Hang on. Enemies add. No, it's not going to work. It would be mixed in runtime and. Because what you could have done, what you could have quite easily have done, is if you had a var here, you would say sprite index, and you set that to 0, right? Or enemy index even. And then what you would do in here, or you'd probably start on -1, right? And then the first thing you would do in here is you'd say eval enemy. How do you do it now? There we go. Enemy index equals enemy index +1. In fact, I think you can do plus equals 1 here. I think that does work. Turn the index in Y. Okay, so that's what this is doing here. So that index would now match this index, and then that means down here, instead of passing this in here, you could just use this value. The problem is it wouldn't reset. You'd have to make it reset for every screen. So I'm not going to do that. I think it overcomplicates things. Use constants instead of indices or instead of numbers. Yeah, I'm not going to mess with it. I think it's fine as it is. You just need to remember that whenever you add anything, once you've added an enemy sprite in, anything you want to add to that enemy, you add it separately. So it's not a difficult thing to debug, so I think it's fine. If it was a case of it would cause some real complications, or it wasn't consistent, like only some behaviors had it and not others, then I would definitely find a better way of doing it. But as it stands, it's all right. I mean, you could have it so that whenever screen code is loaded, it wouldn't work because you still wouldn't reset it. It would still just be a variable in the it wouldn't work at all. You're still going to end up in order to reset it, you'd have to have something that knows that when it's a new file it resets, and that's not gonna work properly. Because then you would have to have in here, you'd have to have something else in here, like another macro which resets the enemy sprites. I mean, you could have a thing here which says like reset enemy sprite index, and then you wouldn't need these here. But I mean, it's really not worth it, to be honest. You could do it. You could definitely do it, but I don't think it's worth it. How many's playing the game now? Oh my god, just one as well. It's just Aquafin. Enemy 0, enemy 1. Sorry, even more useful names like Pokeball 1. Yeah, possibly. Again, though, I don't think it adds much to it either. It's kind of obvious that the first number is indexed on all, like every single one of these is exactly the same. every single one of these macros is exactly the same. You pass, apart from add enemy sprite, you add enemy sprite, and then everything else that you do, you pass an index in. I think that's fine, to be honest. The other option would, I know, again, it wouldn't work. I'm still mixing. No, it's fine. I'm not going to worry too much about it. I think it's fine. These snippets of code are so kind of small anyway. I mean, look, this entire dynamic thing is like 90 lines long, and most of that is space, and I think it's not complicated. It's fine. I'm trying to solve problems that aren't really there. So yeah, that's what I. Oh, you add a macro, select enemy with index. Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. At the beginning, you would have a macro to say begin enemy sprites or something like that, and then whenever you add an enemy sprite and add an animation, it knows what index it's on. That would be one way of doing it, but you had a macro select enemy with index, or yeah, that could work as well. It's fine. I'm not gonna. I could sit here all day debating whether or not it's the right thing to do. Akmafin's on a mission. Akmafin's gonna do it. He's oh no, he's not. No, he's not. He's poisoned. He's got no poison potion. He's only got 1 dice, and he's still attempting the fight. A very unfair fight. He's gonna get his ass kicked now, definite. Because we've still got it here though as well. We still have to reference the enemy hit points here as well anyway. So I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it for now. I want to get on with stuff. So let's see it working, and then we'll think about it later. There's a few things I need to think about anyway. There's because there's some stuff to do with the behaviors as well. I want an ability to kind of switch between 2 sets of behaviors for one thing. Just need to think. Oh yeah, I changed the poison in the game as well, so the poison only ticks on you if you're in a fight or you're moving. You can sit on a screen and open chests and drink other potions, and you'll be fine. It's only when you move or you fight around. So like opening the map won't let you get poisoned, that sort of thing. Hey, there we go. And now it's doing the proper animations. That's good. All right, so let's move these enemies down by what looks to be about 3 or 4. Let's move them down 4 pixels and turn the screen flashing off. So where are they? These are the rockets. Let's move them down 4 pixels and put all the behaviors back in there. As I say, I think at some point I'm going to revisit this anyway, because I think these behaviors need to be a bit more complex than this. I think these 2 can probably be removed. If you've applied a delta to an object, it shouldn't be moving anyway. But there should be some other behaviors which will, switch between 2 behaviors or something. Oh no, actually, apply delta because you don't want this to move. So flash red may be taken away. We definitely want one that could maybe switch between 2. Maybe entity scripts is the way to do this. Maybe we need to think of a way to extend the entity scripts to work for enemies as well. I don't know. I'll have a think about it. We can progress anyway. There's enough for us to get on with making this work. So, all right, there we go. So that should be all 3 of them now moving properly. So, I mean, all that for something that is over in the blink of an eye, but. No, we only saw 2. When did we only see 2? And also, I didn't stop the border flash. Border flash. It's not in here. It's in the bottom of here. Also, notice they're not doing the ping pong loop, but they still looked all right. Explain and contact. Where was it? There it is. This is just the normal loop at the moment, so let's duplicate this to do ping pong loop. I'm going to pause Well, I need to look to see why there was only 2 for a start. So there was 1. No, that's the bouncy thing. So there's 1, 2. Yeah, okay. There is 3. But I only saw 2 for some reason. This is what I mean about the sprite multiplexer as well. I think we've got sprite multiplexer problems. Turn the deltas off. Means these need to be adjusted as well. God damn it. Yeah, fine. I'll do it. I'll do it this way. Yeah, see, this again, the enemy behaviors could be handled differently as well. So you don't have to pass this indexing as well. This kind of system needs rethink. That's just not going to do it now. The only thing I do need to stop the TV doing is trying to turn off on its own. Pointer to different behavior lists. Pointer is changed using entity-based, time-based. Yeah. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. You could have it so that the entity script switches between we'll set the pointer for an enemy behavior list, so there could be like 2 or more pointers that just point to a block of 4 or up to 4 things. I'm gonna have a think. I'm not gonna change anything right now because I think it needs planning properly, and I'd rather just kind of sleep on it and have a think about it. But I think there might be a way of doing just that, linking the entity scripts to the behavioral scripts, but also having a way to check certain things like proximity as well. So, for instance, a behavioral script. So, in the entity behavior script, so in this thing in, where was it, screen 24, which I've closed now. In here, not that one, this one. At the moment, it's just going through this list, and this list is quite simple. But remember, we can set loops and stuff up in here. So if we don't have the terminal, I think it loops back to the beginning. I can't remember, but there is a way of. Oh no, you can jump to certain values, but we could have something in here which activate on proximity or something. So you can have something which will actually check if you're close to a particular object, and then activate it. Or switch behavior on proximity or something like that. I'll have a think about it. I need to figure out the best way of doing it, but I think there is possibly a good way of doing that, which will give us lots of flexibility later on as well. We've got to be careful not to overdo the flexibility as well, because we don't want to create too many things if we don't need them. But I do want to share this again later on with people, so there is a reason for all this complexity. That it's not just for this game. It's going to be something that we can write games in. Trigger behavior, yeah, but you kind of want that to be. You don't want the trigger behavior to just be on a timer. You want it to trigger behavior on something else. I don't know how we do it. I need to have a think about how it works, how they both work, because at the moment we don't have any conditional stuff. I think conditional stuff is what we need to do that. So you could have it maybe check a memory value somewhere or something. I don't know. Or you could have an enemy behavior which says, I don't know, activate on on proximity or something. So you can set. I don't know. Yeah, I need to have a think. I think about it. So there we go. There we've got, but we've still only got 2. Look, I don't know why. Don't know where the other one's gone. Maybe it exploded straight away because it was touching something. Oh no, it's not. They've gone out of sync. That's weird. Not sure how they've done that. They shouldn't be doing that. Okay, there's definitely only 2 there. I'm not seeing the other one. Oh my god, these are kind of hard to shoot. Wait, why are they not dying? If you go into oh if you boot the game onto a screen, passable areas don't work. You have to move into an area with passable areas for them to be activated. Okay, that was weird. That was really weird. We've not seen that for a long time. I don't know what's causing that now. Let me just check I've not done anything weird with the behaviors. It could be that these behaviors are still running when we unload the code. No, they shouldn't be, because the code, it's not done in an IRQ or anything. Yeah, we need to keep an eye on that. Definitely need to keep an eye on that. Okay, so the collision for these things is only checking ahead, right? So let me also get rid of that one. Set that to 1. So this was the one that exploded. I just want to see what happens if it has no other behavior on it. It just sits here. Because it shouldn't. And there was something weird on that screen. It did something odd is going on. I don't know what I've done, but something is odd going on. Could you mean something all time, etc.? Yeah, I need to have a think. I would think as well, Nico, if you can come up with a way of linking the two things, that would be really good. Because if you could invoke an entity script as part of a behavior, that would by far be the best thing. Because then you could actually script. You could actually script behaviors, so it wouldn't just have to be for. Because at the moment, entity script is just something that's called every frame on a screen. But if we could find a way to have multiple scripts running, and you could just run as many as you want, and they have, and we can add more commands into them and stuff. Yeah, that might be the way to do it. So, Farmalenko 220, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. How you doing? Is it cold there? Hey, Andy. It's cold there as it is here. It's not good here. Yeah, so they're bouncing off the passable areas, because if I go down here and then go back again, you'll see they go through. It's because of the way passable areas work. You need to enter the screen for them to be triggered. Because if you don't enter the screen, it doesn't run that code properly for some reason. I can't remember why. There is a reason for it. But it's fine because the first screen doesn't have any passable areas. So, and it's only when the game first loads up, the very first screen you load into. So it will always be the start screen with the two sprites spinning and the little thing in the middle. Okay, they're fine like that. Can I shoot them? I can. Can I shoot that one though? They all have. Do they not all have hit points or something? Have I not put hit points on them all? I've not put hit points on them all. Okay, let's work out how to do all this. Then, God damn it, things are taking too long. I'm frustrated by how long it takes to get some of these things done. But it is getting to the point now where there is a lot of stuff that's a lot quicker, a hell of a lot quicker than it used to be. Okay, so we've got 3 hit points for enemy HP, 3 for Pokeballs. They should be fine. They should know that there's 6 enemies on the screen and that these are the things. Let's just check that the enemy hit points are right. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not sure why they're not working then. Let's put all the behaviors back for this one. See what happens. We'll do those ones in a minute. I just want to. Why is it not picking up the? Yeah, they've all got hit points. I just don't know why that. Is it because it's going below? Have I introduced a bug? I'm not. Yeah, that one explodes. That one always explodes straight away. So that one just explodes on contact. And then these only seems to explode one of them. And then the other 2 don't do anything. Oh, is it too close to the wall? I guess it must be. Oh, I better know how. Yes, I think it's because by default it's going to check the right hand side, so I can fix this in a really kind of sneaky fucking way. This is a proper hacky workaround, but I just want to see if it works. So if we set the delta of this one to be minus fractional 1, it's going to think it needs to move to the left, which means it will only be checking collision on the left, and then it shouldn't explode then. It is a hacky workaround, but yeah. But then it doesn't explain why the other enemies are not dying properly, so we might have to check the enemy health. Let me put a debug in the enemies to check the health bars. As you see, it's this one, isn't it? No, this one. Okay. Rocky roads are not health bars. Oh my god. I really want Rocky Road now. I've not had that for ages. So bad for you, but it's so delicious. Who cares, right? No, it still explodes. Why on earth is that one exploding? I moved it too far down or something. Oh, it's maybe. Although it doesn't explain why these two aren't exploded, but maybe it's just because they are quite short. So because they're short, why has that gone like that? What the hell? Seriously? There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that means there's 5 pixels down here. You know, we check a section of 2 pixels on either side. So that means the collision for these needs to be smaller, which makes sense as well. They're too big. I mean, they're too small at the moment. Yeah, these need to be less, don't they? These need to be 1 character on either side. Oh man, that's gonna make things really awkward. Right, tell you what, I'm gonna have a quick break. Um, maybe because it has no health, something's trying to run with health points. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna have a look at in a minute. So there's 2 things to think about here. Is that the enemy collision routine we've got is basically picking 8 characters around the sprite, because it's assuming that the enemies are 16 by 16. We could possibly kind of resolve that a little bit if we move this into the middle of a 16 by 16 block and then just adjust its position based on that. It's probably not too bad because they move quite fast in one direction. Actually, let me do that. I'll show you what I mean. So if I take all of the sprites, so the widest one is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's an annoying number. And 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay, both annoying numbers. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it to the bottom. So it's 11 characters, 11 pixels high. So I'm going to move it down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now this is sitting at the bottom of a 16 by 16 block. Now, if I move them across by, what was it, 9? So if I move it across by 3, for instance, that's kind of now sitting at the bottom middle of a block. So if you imagine let me just quickly draw where I mean on the well, draw on another frame. Oh God, no, I'll just draw it here. All right. So you imagine this is the kind of the square that makes up the up the sprite. We've sat it in the middle now, right? And our characters are being detected at these kind of boundaries here. So we've got 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. For the purposes of collision, this rocket only really cares about at the top. It doesn't really care about the sides. So I think we can kind of get away with putting them like that. We will have to adjust the positions a little bit on the screen, but I think that might work. But I have to really have a think actually about how to do this. We're starting to get into the kind of nitty gritty of some of these sprites systems, and it's starting to bother me a little bit that there are some stuff that isn't quite going to work. So in comes Hayes and nails it. Hey, Hayes, how's it going? Right, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to have a think about this, and when I come back, we'll try the sprite like this, see if it works. So that means we're going to have to move everything up 5 and across 3 so they start in the same place. But hopefully, it should solve the collision issues that we're having. Whether or not it fixes the next step is fixing the health stuff. All right. So let me take a quick break. I'll be back in about 5 minutes, guys. All right. Let me start. Oh, the race is on. Let me wait for the race to finish. I'll start it. I'll start the quiz again, so you can. Because if I try and do it now, it'll break. So I really need to fix that font. It's massive. It's because I took freaking some of the bootstrap stuff out because it was no longer needed, and it's obviously broken some of the CSS, or it's removed some of the CSS that I was relying on. Okay, so I'll start the break again now. I'll be back in 5 minutes, guys. Be right back. Okay, I'm back just in time. Okay, I think this is going to work. Moving this sprite like this, so I'm going to save this. I'm going to export it. I had an idea for the games as well, so we're on Connect 4. So what I'm going to do to encourage people to play is if you fail on a game, there's going to be a rollover fund. It's going to be stored between game sessions. So Connect 4 will have a rollover fund. Dank Souls will have a rollover fund. And what will happen is if you fail to win, half of the prize that you would have won gets put in the rollover fund. So if the prize was 100,000 and you lose, 50,000 goes in the rollover fund. Then the next time you play, it will be the prize plus the rollover fund. And if you fail again, half of the prize goes back in, and so on and so on. Which means over time, if you keep losing, that fund's going to grow and grow and grow. And I'll make it store between streams as well. So if you don't win on Dank Souls for say 3 streams over like 10 games or something, there'll be a massive rollover fund. So when you do win it, it will be huge, and that will encourage people to kind of join in as well. So because I think sometimes if you're losing all the time, you're not going to want to play a particular game. So that's an idea I might try and fit in before the weekend. If I can. Okay, so save this. Let's export this. Export sprite set. Let's put this Rocket Sprites. That's good. So we do need to move things back in the code to accommodate that. So if we go to our dynamic screen data, so it's just the rockets we need to move back. So we need to move them up. How many did we move them down? I forgot how many we moved them down now. Whatever this is here, 5. Yeah, 5. Yeah, 5. All right, so we need to move them up 5 and back 3 to the left 3. Okay, so now if I run this, they should be in the same place, but the collision boxes will be in a different place. We've got to think of sprites as living inside a 16 by 16 collision box. If we don't think of that, then they're going to behave a bit weirdly, and I think that's what we were seeing. Have they been? I don't think they've beaten the new version, have they, John? But again, this will be a reason to play it. So by putting half of the prize winnings that you didn't win into a rollover fund, it gives you some incentive to play it again. Obviously, you can just sit back until you think it's the appropriate time. Okay, that one launched, but that's kind of fine. Actually, they didn't need moving up. Why is that not? It hasn't updated the sprites properly for some reason. I'll export binary. Wait, so what have I done? I've moved the sprites down. Yeah, that should be what sprite sets. Oh, because I did that. I put it there. So let me just delete that one. You see how they worked then? They didn't explode straight away. So now if I put that into... So that is in here now, okay. And then if I'm just going to go and turn those, so that's doing apply delta. That's the only one that's moving. So if I turn the deltas on them all, it should behave correctly now. Other than the proximity thing, but I'm going to have a think about that. I've got some ideas how to do that, but for now I'm just going to leave it as it is. So the only thing we need to do is actually apply the ping pong loop. So let's go and quickly do that. That should be pretty easy to do. So ping pong loop is just going to be basically the same as the normal loop, except at the end of the loop, instead of always just checking this value here, the anim2 value. Well, it is always going to check the anim2 value, but it's going to decide which way it's going. So we're going to take the direction here, which we can use the X register for this, so we don't have to bash the A register at all. And then if it's negative, or in other words, if we're going backwards, we'll jump to negative. Otherwise, we do the positive loop here. So the positive loop is going to be pretty simple. Oh, you won it. That's sweet. Well done. We said no. Said to computer no. Well done. Thank you for the bit as well, Nick. I appreciate it. Cheers to the winners of Connect 4. Well done. Junk AI. I think it's a lot harder. You do need to kind of get it in a situation where you've got two options, but it doesn't seem to think ahead too far. I knew it was beatable because I'd almost beaten it myself. I just made a bad move, so. Kanye once said, I was just speaking with someone that told me their life story and they used to be homeless. Okay. Okay. I don't know what to think about that. Okay, so if we want to move forward, what do we need to do? Okay, so if we're moving forward, what we do? Well, we want to check if we're at this location. If we are at this location, we need to subtract 2 from this and invert the direction. So what we'll do is we'll set the carry flag, we'll subtract 2, and that's going to be the value we set here. And then what we need to do is we need to take FF and store that in this one here. And again, I can't remember if we can do store x, y. I'm really struggling to remember opcodes at the moment. Store x. I have a feeling you can't actually. No, you can't. Didn't think so. So you can't do store x, y. Okay, so we need to shift some things around to do this. So how can I do this and still retain this value in accumulate? Oh, I'll tell you what we can do. We can transfer that to the X register. Store it like that. And transfer X to the accumulator like that. And then we can jump, and X will be non-zero, always be non-zero, so we can then branch to set like that. So there we go. That's our forward loop. So what this does is it loops to the end. When it gets to the end, it subtracts 2, because remember our end is +1. So to go to the next frame, we need to go back 2, and then ends there. And then we need to do the negative one. So the negative is pretty much going to be the same, but this time we're comparing the from value. In this case, if we hit the from value, we're at 1. So actually, we don't need to do. Actually, is that right? Yeah, we don't need to do any subtraction here. So if we're at the first frame, that's correct. We've gone to the first frame. We just need to make sure that on the next frame, we jump forward. So that should do our forward, and this should be the right. So again, I'm just gonna take the behavior of one of the sprites and just stop it from moving. So all it's doing is the loop. And we should be able to check that. So let's just do it on the first one here. So this one, that's the last one, but let's do it on this one. No, that's not this one here. So let's just set that to 1. Let's just turn those off. Actually, let's set to 0 so we don't see the flashing either. We're just going to stop it flashing. We're just going to make sure that that is doing the ping pong correctly. It should be doing now. They should have added Z. Yeah, they did on the 45G. Well, the 65 GSO2. That's the 40. Sorry, 65 CE02 or 65 CO2. I can never remember which one it is, but yeah, and it absolutely makes a hell of a world of difference. There's that one register opens up so many possibilities. Oh, okay. Ping pong loops are really wrong at the moment. All right, let's check out why that is. What have I done wrong here? Done something wrong, that's for sure. So this is a normal loop. That's fine. The ping pong loop, however, is broken. So it goes forwards, compares to anim to. Oh, we didn't do a branch here, so that's why. So branch if not equal set. There we go. I got rid of the set for some reason. Is this comfortably null? It is. I need to turn this up. This is really good. Who picked this? Good choice, whoever picked it. One of my favourite Floyd tunes, this. Yeah, this it's one of my favorite Floyd tunes ever. This, yeah, there we go. It looks good now. Okay, so let's see. Can we shoot it? Yeah. All right. So now can we shoot these guys down here? So I can shoot one. So I only seem to be able to shoot one. So that's the next step. We need to check the health points on these. All right. Let me set the behaviors fully for these now because they seem to be working. And we'll go ahead and work out what it is. So I think I've already put a health marker in there, so we can just use that. So let me just build the code and figure out where that is, where it lives. Yeah, who picked that tune? Because it's good. I need to know. Oh, Microman picked it. Okay, cool. Mm. Yeah, if it's in the HSVC collection on DeepSid, then it's in this. It might be like one version behind at any given time, but generally it's close enough. Okay, so what am I looking for? I'm looking for the health. So health is going to tell us where the health of those enemies are on that screen, and we can go and have a look at them. So they're 8460. Okay, of course, because it's persistent data, so it lives in that persistent block somewhere. So I just want to see if these still explode. They should do, unless I've done something weird. If I just give these loads of hit points, is that what the problem here? Oh man, they look really good now. All right, I have a funny feeling what I've done is just give these a stupid amount of hit points. Pokeballs. No, they can't have a stupid amount of hit points because they're all sharing the same HP plus 3, HP plus 4, HP plus 5. Oh, I can see the problem. Can you see the problem? I'm looking at screen 24's enemies, not screen 34's. There we go. So that should be everything we need so far. And then that just leaves us the aim turret to do on this screen. And the reason that was failing was because if I kill anything on this screen, why they're not dying, I don't know. There's one. There's the other one. So I should be able to kill this one as well. It's probably going to kill me when I go in here, but let's see if I can do it. Oh no, I can't get in there, can I? Because of the passable areas. That's fine. But now these should work. So those work. There we go. How many hit points have these bloody things got? Hey, there we go. Sweet. I know everything else should work as well. So these mines should still. Oh no, why is the mine not exploding? That should be detected as a. Okay, I need to figure out why that's not exploding because that should explode when you get close. It's not doing for some reason. Anonymous Cheerer, thank you very much. Why is it not picking those up? Do I not have persistent? No, I must have persistence data because these all these things are explodable, so there has to be persistence data loaded in. Yeah. So why is it not picking the mines? Oh, I know why. Because the mines are entities, and the entities need some extra scripting. So if we go and have a look at screen 21, you'll see we need to register entities, update entities. So anytime there's something like a mine, we need to call this routine. God, half of the problem is remembering all this stuff. So we need to register entities, we need to update entities, and we need to deregister entities. And that's because without this routine, it doesn't know to go and go. That's inconsistent, isn't it? Never mind. It doesn't know to go and start checking proximity because they're proximity checks. It needs to be turned on rather than just done automatically on every frame. So there we go. That should solve that issue. I think if I do release this framework, it needs a bit of kind of tidying up to make things consistent and stuff. So I will notice because I've just did you draw attention to it? I will try and deal with it as long as I can, but I get about 5 seconds in and I get angry with it. So too late. All right, cool. So now we should have mines that work on here as well. Which I didn't check if they kill you, those things. I'm assuming they will, but I haven't done anything to check. And these, yeah, there we go. Jesus. Okay, so one last thing I want to do is just make sure that those rockets kill you. So I already know it's coming. I should skip it like immediately. I can't actually remove them from the list, I don't think, but I can skip them immediately. So let me try and get in. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Okay, cool. So let's just make sure these drop things. They do. Double shot, speed. That's nice. Yeah, I already annoy me. Yeah, I would have heard that. It annoyed me as soon as it came on. Oh, fuck. I'm not going to get to that in time to pick them up again, am I? Oh, I did just about. Okay, so now it's this thing here. And then we move on to this screen, which has more of those turrets. So, oh, wait, why are they appearing? Ah, I know why. It's because we need to put some. Wait, hang on. Why are the other things not appearing then? Why do these not reappear, but these do? What's different about these? Is it to do with the enemy hit points? I bet it's to do with the enemy hit points. I think we need an additional thing in here. All right. Screen macros. Let's have a look. Add enemy sprite. Otherwise, what does it do? So it adds. So it would come to here and do nothing. But it wouldn't be adding the pot. I think that's the problem, isn't it? We need to. Let's just try putting that into the add enemy animation because I think this is what's causing the issue here. What's this? Oh, I recognized it. I think that should be right now. Wait, you're in Finland. It's just always snow, right? When you say it's not snowing, you mean it's only like 7 inches of snow outside. That's what you mean. You see, it's like Crocodile Dundee with that's not a knife, this is a knife, that's not snow. This is snow. It's not snowing. It's not snowing here. A 10 seed. Yeah, to be fair, it's been a really warm. Why is it not picking that up? Okay. Oh shit, that's a problem. Okay. It's been a really warm couple of days here as well. I think we hit 20 a couple of days actually. So I think actually, because to do that, we'd have to pass the health into the animation function. I don't want to do that. Instead, what I'm going to do, so when we do this, we jump to here if the value is equal to 0. Otherwise, the value that we're going to get out the other end is going to be non-zero. These are going to be non-zero values, right? So I'm going to assume that when we call enemy sprite, if the result is if we're equal to 0 at the end, we can skip over everything else. So, I mean, we could do it on these as well. We don't really need to do it. I mean, we don't need to call these if they've already exploded, but it doesn't really matter. It's just setting some values. It's not really doing anything. So that's fine. But if we do need to skip past the animation, we can say that and it will skip past the animation. I'm not massively. I'm going to close these up. Actually, I really don't like it being that split like that. I thought I did, but it's just bugging me. So we're using the end result from this to actually skip some code. Again, I'm going to rethink all this system because it's starting to look a little bit messy. I think the intention was good, but it's starting to feel a little bit messy in here. So, flashlight maze for the stream games, cool. Did you take a look at the Pixie stuff that I did? So I put the dungeon game up in the chat, so that people could have a look how I approached it, and then you can you don't have to deal with CSS and that. Then you can just deal with the canvas and images and stuff. So you can write games that actually have graphics rather than CSS. It's fine for games like Wordle and stuff, but if you want to do anything fancy, you don't really want to be doing it all with CSS. I mean, it's perfectly possible to do, but it's a lot harder. I don't have to deal with any of the browser formatting crap that you have to deal with. So you can look at that example. It's probably a little bit long-winded, but you can kind of pull it apart and strip it down and turn it into something a bit less. If you've ever used Flash, you'll get Pixie JA. If you've ever used any kind of hierarchical kind of display list type graphics engine, then you'll get on with it really well. It's quite easy to use. It's really well documented and really quite powerful as well. You can do a lot with it. And I've included quite a few features in there, so you'll be able to see like how fonts work, so how you can load in any font you want and create font styles which you can use in the game with like gradients through them and stuff. So it's pretty good. There's a lot of good stuff in it. And if you want any help with it as well, just give us a shout, and I can teach you the basics in a few minutes. It's not hard at all. Macro has no parameter. What you say? Is it going to catch it in here? Oh, what's that? Okay, what did I do wrong? I've done a few things wrong because I'm talking and not paying attention. So I've added at the end of one of these. There. Is that the only one? Is it going to be all right now? Or is it still going to complain? Unknown symbol. All right. I did take it out of the macros. I thought of a better way of doing this as well. Instead of passing in LSB and out, I could just pass in A and B and work these out. But again, I'll do that. I just want to get through things now. The whole point of this year is to get through this as quickly as possible. I'm looking at the wrong macro file now. That's why. And I've spent a lot longer than I wanted to do already on various things in it. Oh, I didn't save it. There we go. That's why. Yeah, I don't want to pass those in as well, because then you're just repeating data. Actually, I just thought something you could do. just to make it look a little bit neater in the other file. This is a little bit weird, but I am going to do it. So in here, I'm going to do this. Hobbits to Isengard. And then you don't have to do it outside. So it's as long as you call this straight after you've set the sprite up, it should be fine. It's just going to make that screen look a little bit, this bit look a little bit neater. Not have to have that in. So you always do those two as a group. I mean, the other way, of course, is you can just pass the animation properties in here as well and have it work out which combination it does. But as I say, I'm going to visit it all again later. Let's just get through the game and actually start doing some other stuff. I want to get the aim turrets, kind of the second aim turrets working tonight. So we'll call these aren't aim turrets, these are just turrets. So I'm just going to call these turrets. And I'm going to use the aim turret as a base for it, and then we're just going to strip it down and turn it into what we need. Now, as far as I know, they're not on the same screens together. But again, I have some plans for potentially using static banks on the cartridge to deal with those sort of things. Okay, and so if I go out and then back in. No, they're still there. Why are they still there? Why are they still there? Oh, because they're animating. Which means the haha. Wait, no. This doesn't make any sense, right? So none of this should be doing anything. None of these behaviors should be working. I just want to try some, actually. If I kill a Pokeball, go out of the screen and come back, do I still get killed by the Pokeball, by an invisible Pokeball? I think there's a little things. I think the enemies thing definitely needs reworking, isn't it? There's plenty of scope for shit to change in here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to kill these two because I can't kill the other one. Then I'm going to leave the screen. I'm going to come back in and then I'm going to sit up here and see if I die. If I kill that one. I know, they seem to be gone. I think they're gone because, yeah, it's the animation loop. That's all it is. They're gone because even though all the other checks are happening, wait, the behaviors shouldn't be if there's no health, the behaviors shouldn't be happening. That's all I need to do. Stop the behaviors from running if there's no health on them. So where's core behaviors? Here we go. It's calling behaviors on one object. So let's check where that's called from. What are we on now? Hey, Dank Souls. Go on, everybody. Join in. Come on, get in the game, guys. You're all pussies. Who's joined the game? Who started it? Steps. Just play on its own pace. Well, you're going to run out of time. I don't know if it joined you or not. Yeah, there you go. There we go. 5 of you are doing it now. That's better. Okay, so let's see where core behaviors is. I think that's the problem, is it's still doing the behaviors even if there we go. Find. Oh no, I know why. It is skipping them. I know it's going to skip them. Yeah, see, look, it is skipping them. But the reason why is because when we do this, it's not setting the enemies to 0 again. We should be setting the health to 0. It's only. Oh wait, it is setting it to 0. Look, what the fuck? What is going on here then? Oh wait, no, that's just exploding. Explode on contact. Oh no, that is right. Why is it doing any behaviors at all? It shouldn't be doing them. Andy's joined the game and fell asleep. He's wasted a whole minute of your time. Set to 18 minutes, so now, so you have a bit longer. Okay. So why is it doing that then? So we explode the sprites. So it's only checking the reference. It's only checking the MSB of the pointer. Ah, it's because we're. I get it. Okay, so what we're doing is when we enter a screen, we're setting up pointers for all the enemies, and we're reading the hit points from that location. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the hit points are zero. So if we set the MSB to 0 and then leave the screen and come back, the MSB gets reset again, and then the sprites show again because they're there again. Basically, they've still got hit points. So we need to actually in the explode is where we probably is this freestyler. Holy shit, you guys are picking some decent tunes tonight. Rock the microphone. Yeah, so when we do the explode on contact, which is we do this explode enemy, right? So when we do that, what we should be doing is making sure that the health is 0 at this point. So we'll do that as part of the explode enemy function. And in this explode on contact, we'll take this bit out of here and put it in the explode enemy instead. So we'll put it in the end here. Let's actually come to X now. So here, MSP, so no update anymore. But before we do that, we need to actually clear the health. So there is somewhere where we remove health. So we can take a routine like this. Let's just grab that whole thing and just drop it in, and then we can tweak it down. So we need to take need any of that. There we go. That should do it. So the problem was we were just clearing the pointer and not the data that was being pointed to. How did you die? Oh, you attacked. Hayes went straight for the boss with 1 dice. Yeah. It's. I mean, you need to kind of know. So that's fine. It's all a learning game anyway. So the way the combat works is dice based. So the number of dice you have is basically your attack strength, and you both roll the dice. Whoever gets the highest score hits. So if they've got 3 dice and you've only got 1, you're kind of screwed because you'd need to roll a 5 or a 6, and they would have to roll less than that basically, which makes it very hard. You've got a 1 in 3 chance of rolling a number that could possibly beat them. But then they roll 3 dice, which means they've got like a 1 in or 2 in 216. So it would be sorry, that's wrong. No. Yeah, 180 to 216. So you'd have 1 in 108 chance of winning a fight, 1 versus 3 on those fights. Very, very hard. Plus, if your defense is low, that gets even harder as well. Yeah. And to roll that combination is 1 in 108 or something. So I think that's right. I'd have to check the maths, but it sounds about right in my head. But I added so the defense stat that you've got. If the enemy's got 3 defense, then whatever you roll gets 3 taken away from it. So, and likewise with their roll, whatever defense you've got gets taken away from it. So if you've got high defense, you kind of make it a bit harder for them to win the hit roll as well. Yeah, defense modifies it. So your opponent's defense modifies your roll, which is what the minus in brackets is about. So as long as you've got a higher, as long as you've got a higher defense than your opponent, then you've got an advantage. Whatever the difference is between your opponent is and you is what the what affects the score. So that was the little adjustment I made because you guys kept trying to attack 2 dice things all the time with 1 dice, and it was a little bit funky. So. But I'm going to add the dynamic scaling and the rollovers in as well, so there'll be a reason to play it more. Make it so 3 death means 3 dice are taken away from them. It's like the odds of getting slapped on stage. Well, I wonder actually how many celebrities of sorry, not how many celebrities, how many awards have been given out. So how many times have people come on to do a little bit before awarding an award, and how many Oscars have there been? So how many have there been over the entire time, and one person has hit? That would be your chances of getting punched while you're on the Oscars, while you're giving a speech at the Oscars, or not giving a speech, giving an award at the Oscars. Okay, so if we go and come back. Yeah, there we go. They're now gone. All right, cool. So that works. There's some weird particle stuff goes on when you move this in. I think it's just freezing the part. Yeah, it is just freezing the particles. Most of us don't care. So I just laughed my ass off when I saw it. I just thought it was really funny. Okay, right. Let's do this turret. So in order to do that, we're just going to create a new dynamic piece of code. We're going to call this aim turret as well. Sorry, turret, not, but it's going to be based on the aim turret code. So we're going to grab that. We're going to paste it. Oh, that's wrong. I want us to do it in here. So copy. Oh my god. I'll just do it this way. That's easier, right? Copy it from there. Paste it. We'll call it turrets. And then we just need to go in and change things. So we're going to call it turrets here. Turrets here. Everything else can kind of stay the same. There is a bit of assets that need to be loaded in, but we'll deal with that in a minute. So the aim turret sprites are the kind of thing that moves around the top. We don't need that in this at all, so we can get rid of that piece of code. But we'll just go through each bit a bit at a time and fix it. In fact, I'm just going to leave everything else the same in here, right? And then work out what we need and what we don't. So turrets. Okay. So turrets load into this area, F00. Currently, our enemy code loads in E800, I believe. So there's a chance that the enemy code could start overlapping with this. So I'm going to move this into a different place, I think. Let's see. Aim turrets, F80. Yeah, so the aim turrets take up quite a bit. They take up like 2 kilobytes. So it's going to be less than that for our version. And at the moment, our enemies end at EF100. So I recognize this tune. Okay, so let's have a look at our memory map. Let's see where we can put this. So what have we got? Okay, so we've got enemies go from E800 onwards. So I'm going to move the enemies up to here because these are going to start sharing code with things. So we've definitely got enemies on 24. We've got them on 23. 34 as well. Okay, so aim turrets are on 23. What else is on 23? None of these things are on 23. So we could move aim turrets to somewhere else. So I'm going to suggest we move aim turrets. Where was the other? We had another additional dynamic code, area A00, but that's the screen dynamic code. There was another potential area that we could use. Was it down here? So, no. Where was the area? Entity scripts. Oh, there was an area down here. There's an area of... Wait, that can't be right. Game loop. Oh, music is there. Okay. Yes, there's an area down here that could be used as well. From 0800 onwards. The problem with putting stuff down there is we can't import the... So loading dynamic command the screen is executed. Yeah, on the fly. The problem with that is we'd have to use banking to do that. We couldn't just. Um, Actually, this is not going to work because we've got screen persist code in there as well. So, ooh. And that's going to start getting tricky when we change cartridge types as well. All right, let's have a think. Well, the screen persistence code could potentially be a lot less than what we're seeing there. The base sprites could be adjusted because we've got this is our sprite list here. Not that one. Sorry, let me open another copy of that. Actually, I don't need that now, do I? So, uh, this is our sprite list at the moment, and this is what's encroaching on an area. Now, some of this, like the swarm, for instance, that could be imported. I mean, look at the size of this thing. That's a lot of sprites. That's dynamic code. That's here. So that could be put into this area instead. There's no reason for that to take up that much, and that would allow us to move dynamic code down a little bit. Actually, 64. Actually, we're only using up to. Wait, that can't be right. 64. Chars and base sprites. Screens, chars, base sprites. Holy shit, I think it is only going up to here. Yeah, it is. Okay, no, that's good. That's good then. In that case, we'll create two dynamic screen code areas. So, oh, what's it doing that? So we'll have a dynamic screen code small, which we put tinier things in. So anything that can fit into this area, we can put in here. Uh, because there's no necessity for us to use that area in there. In fact, if I go and have a look, what's that not low? Oh, is it Alt H? There we go. If I go and have a look at this area, it's probably just going to be blank. Yeah, it's just got the normal blank pattern in it, which means we've never actually used any of this area here. Yeah, it's completely blank. So we can use this as an area for smaller pieces of code. So this is where we kind of look at some of our dynamic code as it loads and go, okay. So for instance, this is aim turrets, and the aim turret currently has loads of extra stuff in it. So the minimal version, the version that we're about to do, would probably fit in there quite nicely. We could also shift this up so it becomes this instead. You know, which is kind of what we have with these things here. Force field could be moved down. Look, force field is yeah. All right. What's that enemy send at? Our enemy send at EF100. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make it two banks like this. And then that way we've got room to kind of juggle things around a little bit because none of them are kind of extending too far. They're all staying under their kind of 4K limit. Sorry, what? Yeah, 4K limit. And then I just need to move these enemies down. So if I move the enemies to, up to F0, that keeps these all consistent. This is in a weird place, but we can look at that soon. Right. So let's move enemies. Please. Oh yeah, sorry. It triggers me as well. That I must admit. It's weird, isn't it? What things trigger people, and that is definitely one of the things that gets me as well. So you're not alone there. All right, so we need to change that there, but that means we need to go and change that in our cart file as well. So in here we set where these things load in. So we're just going to set it loads in F0. That should fix that. Let's fix the Robotron Robotron, Robo Prize, and Force Field. Let's move those down to here as well. And the laser. Which means we need to set them all in here. So we're moving these down like this. It's going to be to there. So that means we now need to go and change these in here. So force field becomes E00. It's actually nice how easy it is to move things around, actually. Swarm is at F00. I do want to move the sprites up into there as well, because then that means what we might be able to do is if we get rid of things with large kind of animations like this, we can put enemies in here instead, because we've still got quite a bit of room in here, and these sprites aren't used. There's a few things that aren't used in here, so yeah, all right, this is going to work, I think. I still have the debug command for the health. Oh, in here. No, where is it? In this one. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Okay, so what was I changing? Oh yeah, so laser needs to be E0. Robo Prize needs to be E0. This sounds very Steve Rowlands. Got that kind of Steve Rowlands baseline. It's not though. Can I define them using constants? I don't think you can use constants in here. I don't think you can do that with these start addresses, unfortunately. I think that's something I did look at one point, but because of there's a few things in Kick that really kind of wind me up a bit. That's one of them. Another one, a lot of stuff around the program counter stuff is a bit weird. Pretty sure that's the case anyway. I can check it. Let's try. Let's call it bank one, right? And then set that to E000. If it works, we'll call it something proper. But let's just try that. I'm pretty sure it doesn't work though. So. Oh no, it has failed. All right, this is because it's looking for something. Hang on. Aim turrets. It should have aim turrets. I haven't changed that. Oh shit! No, I changed it in the wrong file. That should have been aim turrets. That should have been aim turrets. I changed it in this file and not in the file that I called turrets, which I haven't included yet. So I'll do that. Let's just get this working first, and then I'll change it in the right file. I think maybe it will work. Yeah, to make sure it definitely would be easier if it works. I think it is working actually. Maybe that was something. Well, what was I doing? I was definitely doing something with program going. I was having issues with it. So what did I change it in? I changed it in. Where the fuck did I change it now? I forgot which one I changed it in now. It wasn't that one. Isn't that one? There it is. Robotron. So let's just have a look at Robotron. Dynamic cart Robotron. Oh no, it has. It's worked. All right. Well, in that case, yes, definitely using it. Okay, so let's make some constants for those. So we've got 3 dynamic areas. We've got screen code, which is this one here. And then we've got dynamic code bank 1 and dynamic code bank 2. And then we've got some smaller versions as well, but we can just add values to them. But the main banks will store as constants. So let's put this right at the top. So what's this game? Wordle. First time for Wordle today. It's been quite slow, hasn't it, with the games? It feels like they're taking a while to come around. So dynamic. Code areas. All right. So what do we call it? Let's call it Code Bank 1 and Code Bank 2, I guess. We've got Code Bank 1, Code Bank 2. And this would be Screen Code Bank. I'm not going to go through all the screens and do this, change these. Actually, could I do it with... I could do it with search and replace on that, actually. It's using regular expression. I'm just doing that. It's going to change it in here as well, but there's no other place where I use A00. And if I do, it's fine to use that as a screen code bank because that's what it's supposed to be doing. Why is it not replacing it? Yeah, that should be fine. It's going to change that one there. Okay. And then code bank 1 and 2, I'll do manually because I'm a bit worried about the effect of kind of messing around with these. But see here, look, yeah, see that's done perfectly. It's loaded all of those in here. That's nice. So this becomes code bank 1, code bank 1, code bank 1, code bank 1. In fact, I'm going to arrange them by code banks as well. What's with all the covers tonight? There's a lot of covers going on. So this is one slightly different one. This needs to be... That's why I didn't want to change it automatically for those ones. Okay, we should probably make constants for most of these things in here, actually, but I think these are fine to use for now. And then we'll just go and make sure all of those are changed in the headers in here. So this is code bank 2. Certainly does make that a lot easier. We'll come back to that soon. Cart loader. Oh, have I done... All right, I might have fucked things up in here. So screen, yeah, so there we go. So there's one thing that's wrong. This is just the kill key for the thing, but it should be the only place where that is. I don't think there's going to be another. Oh, it's changed a few of these. I can go and have a look, actually, if I do. See if it's in any weird places as well. So that's fine. Changed all of these. That's fine. No, that's good. All right. So code bank 2. All right, let's just go through these one at a time and add them in. So this is code bank 2 as well. So let's just close all of the tabs now. Do this manually. Oh yeah, because it's opened them all. Let's see. That's right. Let's just get back to the basics again. There we go. Fans. Okay, so this is a different one. I think this is the problem. I think doing that, I don't think it can evaluate on these things. Let's go back to. I think that's the problem, that it can't do this. But we'll see. If it doesn't, then I just have to put it in manual, and that's absolutely fine. Or I just create code bank 2E or something like that, just so we can identify that it's not. It is kind of code bank 2, but it's at the page E in there or something. It might work though. Let's code bank 1. This is code bank 1. When I've done this, I just want to go through and check that it's working again because it's quite a hefty change. This should be fine. Let's see if that runs. I have a feeling it's going to fail on that. Oh no, it didn't fail on the. Maybe they changed something. Did I update my kick assembler? No, I'm still on the same one. All right, cool. I like it. I like it. I'm going to give you points for that, Nicomo. That's a good suggestion. I like that. I'm not giving points out well quick enough tonight. I did feel quite generous, and I'm not really doing anything about it. It seems to be fine though. Everything seems to be working the same. The fans are running. The enemy behaviors are running. I mean, there's no reason they wouldn't. There's nothing about it that, other than the pseudo code that the pseudo opcode that does things. So. Him buying. No, did you win at Wordle? Is it snowing again? God damn it! Is it snowing here? I mean, some of look. Oh shit! Oh no, it's not. It's just the light. It looked like there was a blanket of snow outside, but it wasn't. It was just the light reflecting off the window. I don't really care if it snows. I've not got to go anywhere tomorrow. So that's fine. Just going to play, just going to do some work and then going to play Wipeout all night. I'm going to try and get the stream going as early as possible tomorrow. Depends what else I have to do, but you lot don't even know what snow is. You lot, you don't know snow. All right, so happy with that. Okay, so in that case, let's close everything other than this file. Close other tabs, right? And let's have a look at turrets. So this is the file that we want to load in. So we need to create some new code for this to load it in. So let's just load it in as a name turret first. Let's put it onto this screen. So nothing's going to change other than the name. Everything else is internally going to stay the same, which means we don't need to change anything outside of these things. So none of this or anything, right? Now like ATEC said, we do not need this at all. So it's going to be a lot smaller. That's half a kilobyte straight away because we're not going to need that. But I just wanted to work out what this tune is. So it's got a nice bass line called Personal Jesus. I mean, fair enough. Why not? Right, let's have a look at the screen we're interested in. So screen 34 is this one here. So I'm going to load up the base file. I'm going to load up the dynamic file. We need to load in. So we know that the enemies are loaded in to one location. So now we can load turrets into another. Now we just need to add turrets as some code in here. So let's, we've got aim turrets. Let's start separating these as well into their banks. So we can see where they exist. So this is probably where we should start, like, really listing everything that shares. But I think for now this is kind of all right. Thank you very much for the. Oh, I don't know who that was. Hang on. Where's my? There it is. Grindhouse. Grindhouse. I'm assuming it's Grindhouse, like Dead Mouse, the 5 on the end. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. I'm asking everybody that comes on, but is it? Well, I'm asking if they're cold, but I'm going to ask you: is it snowing, Grindhouse, where you are? We're all talking about snow quite a lot, so we'd be interested to know if it's snowing where you are. And if you want to tell us where you are, tell us where you are. Why not? Right, so we'll add turrets in at F00. Okay, cool. So again, we're going to use the same code stuff here, so we can kind of see what screens things are being used on. I mean, this is not being kept up to date, so I'm not too fussed about this, but actually, in fact, we don't even need this really. If we look at I know we do, because we need to know if we want to move things between these. No numbers should overlap here. So if this was the case, then it'd be wrong. So I know the laser's on screen 11. And the Robotron's on screen 20. Force field is on screen 12 and 23. Yeah. Swarm is only on screen 12. Aim turret's on 23. Turrets are going to be on 34. The fans are on 33. We do have base enemies here. Okay, so enemies and turrets are going to overlap here. So actually, these turrets need to go into this one here. So we've still not got a clash. We've still not got a clash. The moment we get a clash, that's when we start thinking about things. But we've still got one other small area down here, which I may utilize for a bit of kind of emergency location. And we can also combine some things together as well. Other screens with both types of turrets. It won't matter because we've moved the turrets into this area now anyway. So this actually seems to be the rarer stuff. Force field laser Robotron is much rarer than this stuff. So we want to move turrets down into bank 1. And again, this is why that was a great idea, because now we just go in here and we change it to code bank 1 in here. And we go in here. And when we create this turrets, which we're going to do, just going to copy this and move it. Oops. Like that. It's almost like you want to do like this, with code bank 1. Add these files, but I mean it's not going to work, is it? But I was just thinking that would be a nice way to do this. Thing is, I'm starting to think more about the freaking syntax of the file than I am anything else. Kanye once said, "If I don't scream, I don't say something, then no one's going to say anything." I'd be perfectly happy. Yeah, I wouldn't say a word if Kanye never spoke again. I wouldn't be bothered at all. I'd be slightly happier, I think, to be honest. You're in Utah, so 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so no snow for you. Micron says, it was rain this morning at 5:30. I thought it's just some flakes. The was late covered with snow. So yeah, it snowed there too as well. Well, I hope it's Monk Shallen. What do you mean, Monk Shallen? Praise the wisdom of Kanye. Mike says, I drink, therefore I'm drunk. Well, hello to all the people in America anyway. It's kind of weird how you guys... I mean, it's not weird, it's just time zones, but it always feels odd when I know I'm streaming and it's getting towards, like, the next day. And then you got people like Warlock in Australia who... for them it's already the next day and it's the early morning, and then the people in the US it's kind of just the beginning of the evening for them. So it's kind of funny. Emus, I nearly read that as emus. Emus and kangaroos cannot walk backwards and are on the Australian coat of arms for that reason. Oh, wait. They put them on the coat of arms because they can't walk backwards. That doesn't make any sense. Also, relevant Australia, so... Hey up. Yeah, anyway. Okay, so turrets. Let's have a look at turrets. So this is this code. It needs to be code back 1, which we've changed. Right, okay. So the way the aim turrets worked is you registered them on the screen. So we need to add a screen macro to do the same thing, right? So if we go and have a look at screen 23, which had the aim turrets in, which also had a screen script. This is a much more complicated screen script. You can see we register the aim turret, so we add where they are on the screen, and it creates a persistence object for them as well. So we're going to need a turret. So I'm going to copy this chunk of code here. We'll put it into here. It doesn't really matter where it goes. I guess it can go down here. It's absolutely fine. Oops. And this now becomes turrets in it, and this needs to be turret. Now, I think actually, in terms of the turret data, there's probably not a lot of differences. We might be able to reuse the same thing, but let's just keep it like this for now. It's only going to be one turret, and we need to get its X and its Y position to get the actual property properly set up. So let's go into the screen data. Let's go find that screen. Oh, why is that? Oh, it's the map base. That's why. Map is what we want. Yeah, so I think the worst case is when we've got these all over the show. These ones fire homing rockets. They're going to be a lot of fun. No, I haven't even got an idea how we're going to do those yet. That's one for later on. There we go. There's our screen. So let's scroll it up into the top corner. Right, so it's this that we need here. So again, measure from the top to the top corner. It says 3 by 19. We need to subtract 1 from the X and leave the Y alone. So it's 2 by 19. So this becomes 0, 2. Actually, does it become 0, 2, or is it just 2? Let's go and have a look at the persistence data. I don't remember if it pads out with zeros. It probably doesn't, actually. So let's export. Oh, it hasn't detected it yet. We need to add it to the script as well so it detects. Okay, so we'll go and do that as well. Okay. It's all kind of. I think doing it every week is like every couple of days a week is really helping, really helping, because I'm starting to kind of recognize things I've missed on previous streams. You know, when I've been trying to go back to it, now it's all sinking in very quickly, and I'm remembering what shit I need to do. Okay, so the way we need to do this, we need to go into this script, which is this thing here. And we need to set the aim turrets here. So you can see we've got aim turret up, we've got aim turret down. So we need turret. This is going to be turret. Let's call it turret right because it's facing right. And then we need to find the character that makes that top left corner. So it's this one here. It's char 318. Okay, so 318 goes in here. Right, so that is going to flag something as a char turret facing right. And we need to give it an entity idea as well. From 1 to 7, but shifted by 1. Okay, I can't remember why we need to shift it, but basically we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. This can just be turret. It doesn't need to be both. It just needs to identify it as something different. So this is our entity number 5. So this becomes 10, which makes this. Wait, hang on, is that right? Yeah. So I don't know why I've written these numbers down here. I'm going to change that so we know that these are 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we shift it. So this is shifted twice. So 4 becomes 8, becomes 16. So that means 5 becomes 10, becomes 20, which becomes 1, 4. Okay. Entity ID turrets. So now we can look at adding in some stats for these. I'm going to just keep the stats the same as the existing ones here. I'm going to put aim turret left and right in here as well. So we've got both. So I'm going to keep them the same as the existing things. I'm just going to change these to turret left and turret right. This is Jesus Christ Superstar, one of the tracks from it. Yeah, it is Jesus Christ Superstar. Is it sad that I know that? I'm a musical fan. That's why I know it. Where's that going that way? What the hell? It's just bugging me all the formatting in here. Oh. Try to understand it, hate it. 4, try moving it, file, understand it, stop hating it. Okay, I'm glad you feel that way, Cosmin. I'm glad you feel that way. That's good. I did try to write my stuff when I was a dev. I did try to write in a useful way. So, what you want? Oh, dungeon again! Come on, guys, you can do it this time. You can do it. I have confidence in you. I have confidence. Just don't attack that boss with 1 dice, and you'll be fine. Why's that got that? Have I missed a comma off the end somewhere? No. Why is it red over there? Or is it just the way this? Oh, it's just the way this is set up. All right. So I don't know what the left is yet, but I probably do need to add that in because we've got charter. Oh no, maybe not. Turret. Okay. So other than that, we don't need to do anything. Oh no, we do need to do this one here. Okay. So we do need to add that character in, so we need to go and find that as well. Hayes, what are the rules? I'm sure someone can tell you, yeah. Don't attack something that's got more dice than you. So your dice, you've got 1 dice at the moment. You want to try and get more dice than your enemies. Otherwise, it's an uphill struggle. Think of dice as your level. So you're level 1 at the moment. You want to get to level 3, sort of. And don't attack anything that's higher than you. It should be very completable, this now. In fact, I have completed it. I have completed it in my testing since I changed it, so I know it's completable. It's just not that easy. Okay, so that's those. So we need to add the char for this one in here. So we need to work out what this value is. So let's go and have a look in the map, see if we can find a turret facing the other way. Well, here's one. That's straight away. So top left of this one is here. Oh, wait, is that? Oh, no, it's in the same character. Okay, that's good. And that's 322. All right. Okay, that should be it. That should be all we need to do in there. Okay. Enemy entity ID. I can't remember what these are for, but I know that they're stored in the. I know that they're stored in the data in here, but I can't remember exactly what they do. Oh, here we go. Bonus what to do when the item is removed. Okay. So what do we want it to do? We want it to do the same as these. So it's 0, which is nothing. Just remove a 2x2. Yeah, okay. It's good. Well, obviously, did some decent commenting in here, finally. Okay, that's good. That's good. And here's where it just outputs the code. All right, so now if we do I need to do any saving on this file? No, I think it's fine as it is. I'm not gonna mess with it. But now I think if we run, we should get better persistence code now. I don't know if it's gonna run though. That's the problem. Yeah, because I need to import the turrets. All right, so let's import the turret code. You guys have picked some really interesting tunes tonight. They've been different. There's been very few kind of tunes I've heard before. There are a lot of covers. 20 HP max. No, you can pick up maximum hit point potions, and there's technically infinite number of those can be there. So there's only a few things that there's only ever one of, which is in the chest, the poison trap, the spike trap, the sword, the shield, and the whetstone. Everything else there can be more than one of. But yeah, the maximum hit points, you can pick a potion up which will give you, automatically heals you back to full health and adds a few more on as well. So what are you doing? I mean, you're doing all right. you've got higher def than that, so this will be an easy fight. But these guys poison you. If they hit you, they poison you. That's the danger with these. You'll see when if it does manage to hit you. I put a little poison animation in for them. But you killed it anyway. They're quite easy to kill, but if they do manage to get a hit in, they will poison you, and it will stack as well. So they can very, very quickly get very powerful, even though they're quite low level. But it does take a lot for them to hit you. That's the problem. Okay, so turrets is loaded in now. So hopefully some add turret. Right, we don't have a screen macro for add turrets. Let's just go and have a look at that. Screen macro. There should be an add turret macro down here somewhere. Here it is. Okay, so the add turret is quite big, but we don't need all of this. I'm pretty sure we don't need all of this. But there's a reason that it's big, because it's doing quite a lot of stuff, like adding sprites and stuff. Problem is, I think we looked at this. Would it be, possible to kind of move it out? And actually, there isn't really a need to. So add turret is aim down. Okay, so we're going to change this to is aim right. So we'll start with the left hand behavior first, and right will be the odd one. So we're going to change some stuff now. So we need to get the next turret. And this persistent stuff stays the same. That's not going to change. Aiming down. So no, we're going to check if we're aiming right. That goes in our stat flag. Oh my God, who keeps picking all these tunes? These are brilliant. Distance. Screen location has to be in there. That can't change. So as I say, most of this is actually the same. It's just it is aiming right. So maybe we can reuse this. No, this is different. So we can't use this. So actually none of this is useful to us at all. Trying to check what else is going in here. Sprite index, we don't need that either. Load wire recipe. So yeah, we don't need any of that actually. I'm going to get rid of the add turret code that was in here as well. So actually it does shorten quite a bit. Okay, so what have we got? We've got turrets. So everything is pretty much the same. We need to make sure the stat flag is for aiming right, not aiming down. And that's kind of it. So I just want to run and make sure that the persistence data matches, but we're not going to get a run yet. Oh, JRT has already been declared. Okay, did I? Did I copy the name wrong? Oh yeah, I did. All right. That should have been... Oh, sorry, right and left. Sorry. So right is the default. Okay. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. File already exists because I didn't change this file here. I like how it's all kind of making sense to me. I really do like working on the same thing. I think I need to do that in future instead of trying to spread myself too thin. This is really, really helping me, because there's no way I'd have remembered all of this if I'd have been doing this like every other week or once a week and missing the odd week here. There's no way I'd have remembered all of this. Okay, so now if we go persistence 34, we should get the exact name, which brings me back to where I was. And there we go, turret RT. Oh, it doesn't give you the location there. Is it always possible to find get 3 dice? Good question. It's highly likely, but there is a small chance you could not get them. If you get unlucky with empty chests, then you could not get them, but it's unlikely. And you can always make so fighting with 2 dice versus 3 dice isn't that bad if you've got high defense. If you've got a high defense stat, which can the defense stat can go up infinitely as well. So the protection potions is an infinite number of those. But bear in mind you can. You've only got 1 dice. Wow. Yeah, I mean that's not a fight you want to do either. It's gonna hurt. Have you got health potions? Oh yeah, you've got health potions. So I'd get one of your health potions going. Okay, so we know that the turret's name is that, but it doesn't tell us how how this is generated. So I need to know is it 0 indexed or not. So that's probably in here. Where would it be? I thought it was in here, but it doesn't look like it is. Maybe. Oh, it's in this macro, isn't it? That's why. Macro. I need to keep looking. He's picking all these tunes because I'm loving it. Good tune choices tonight. I missed that. That was asked ages ago. Which IDE am I using? I'm using Sublime. Sublime Text. I want to say 3. I can't remember. Sorry, the guys are playing the game, so it's a bit spammy. So, oh yeah, tools. There you go. Sublime Text 3. Yeah. Okay. Yes, if you pick an invalid direction, you lose a turn. Yeah. It's punishment for being stupid. It's deliberate. It is intentional. So. Okay. Persistence. Add persistence object. So add screen. Got Xbox. Okay, so it doesn't pad them out. All right, cool. So to go all the way back to here, that is correct. It wouldn't be 0, 2. It would just be that. There's no padding. There is only padding on the screen, and that's because it's set in the it's in the persistence object somewhere. Here. It's auto-generated, but the directions aren't padded. Okay, so we now have a turret that we can add. Let's see if that works, and if it works, we can start stripping that file down. Okay, that all builds. Excellent. So it's going to do weird stuff. It's probably not going to behave correctly at all. But it shouldn't crash. That's the thing. It shouldn't crash or anything. It's just going to behave a bit weird. Like there's no sprite there, so we can probably die, but we won't see what's killed us. Oh man, oh no, because it's trying to shoot up or down. Oh fuck. Okay, it behaved like a mine for some reason. Let's see, that's weird. Why did it behave like a mine? Okay, let's start on screen 35 so we can go up to that one and we can work out why that's happening. And once we know why that's happening, we can do everything else. So let's turn that off so we don't initialize the turret and see if it works. So we need the game loop and we need to change the start screen to 35. No, sorry. What screen is that? 34. So we want 44. See, sorry. How did the game go? Did you lose? It is a really good sit, actually, yeah. Should be able to do actions every 3 rounds. Oh, you mean like to flee? To flee in a fight. It's not a bad idea, actually, Cosmin. I kind of like that. It also means you could heal as well in a fight. Oh, yes, I like that. I like that. So, I'll call it fight actions. So I'm not going to let you flee a fight, but if you've got health potions, oh well, maybe I will let it flee. I don't know. Thank you, New Step, for the follow. Appreciate it, and thank you, Warlock, for reminding me. I didn't see that until you said that. I did hear the noise, but I didn't. It just didn't click in my head. Rivers of Babylon, awesome. Uh, yeah, flee will really do you damage. Because flee, you take a die, you take the highest dice roll that it rolls, which if it rolls 3 dice is always going to be quite high. And defense stat has no effect on that whatsoever, so it doesn't get reduced by your defense because you're running away, so there's no defense. Okay, so I want to see what happens if we come up from the bottom of the screen, and why is it being treated like a mine? It's probably something to do with the script, because it shouldn't be getting treated like a mine, but there's obviously something weird going on here. We just need to figure out what. But oh shit, it's put me down here, hasn't it? Need to move the position up a bit. I can't shoot them because they've got no why they've got no persistent state yet, so they're indestructible. Just sort of something off the wall. What did you think of my command? Oh, do you mean off the album, the wall? I don't know what you mean. Oh my god. Oh Jesus Christ, these things are hard. Right. Yeah, it's behaving like a mine. See, and because it's not a mine, it does weird things. I like that it explodes so hard it just ruins all the graphics. Okay, so it's being detected like a mine. Why is that? So it's being put in like this. A mine is this one here. Is it because it's doing? Does it think it's both of these things? Can it only be one or something? Is it because we're registering entities? And they hang on. Okay, I think I know what this is going to be. This is a fairly old piece of code, so I'm not entirely sure on this, but I think it's something to do with the entity code here. So when we register and we grab some stuff out here, so here's one of the things we grab, and we shift it to the right to bring it back, which is that data that I was saying here. These values here, but why is it shifted by one here? I feel like these numbers are completely wrong. Or is it because in entities, I feel like this shouldn't be working, but for some reason it is. Update entities. Here we go. We don't have a setting for it. That's why. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why is there a gap between each one? So actually, we've only got 1, 2, 3 here. Mine, 6 sprite mine, 4 sprite mine. Okay. We've got mine, 6 sprite mine, 4 sprite mine. Okay. Then turrets have nothing. So could it just be that the turrets should have like this in them as well, and we're just like we're incorrectly kind of Let's have a look. Jump table, MSB. Okay. Yeah, we shouldn't be doing anything here. So basically, this is kind of wrong. So actually, what we should probably do here is, if this is equal, that I think. Bit of ABBA. I'm watching these in May. Well, the holograms of them, at least. Okay, did that wrong. What did I do wrong? Where has it gone? That one there. I do like a bit of ABBA. Oh yeah, the fuzzy search is terrible. Yeah, it's fuzzy's an understatement. So it does it uses a fuzzy. Well, actually, it uses. What's it do now? Oh, it uses a lemon distance calculation and gives everything a score. And then things that sit within a threshold, it picks the top of that list basically. But it does mean that it can be a bit weird. Something like that. I can't remember exactly what it's doing, but I know it's still exploding. Damn. Okay, so it's not that. Why does it think those are mines and not the other ones on the other screen? Or am I just not? No, because they don't explode when I go past them as well. I can't remember what it's called. Layman distance or something. This is ABBA, Cosmin. You must know ABBA. Come on. Oh, it means the game. I was going to say, everybody knows ABBA. Memory game. This is a Turbo J's game. You just got to pick two the same, basically. That's the one, Levenstein. I couldn't remember what it was called. You basically you take one word, you take another word, and you every time you have to move a letter or switch a letter, the distance gets increased. So a distance of 0 means that the two words are identical. A distance of 10 means you had to make 10 changes to get the word. It uses something like that to do the fuzzy search. Something like I can't remember exactly. I think I did a combination of a few things to try and get it as good as possible. The problem is it often returns many things because it's using the full path as well. So that path you see that SP's got there, it's using that entire path to do the search on. And so what happens is you tend to get a lot of kind of stuff that's weird. So okay, let's see. Why is it picking up as a mine? So for it to pick up as a mine, it has to be registered as an entity. For it to register as an entity, it needs to match some stats basically. But so it's going through each row. Find and set persistence ID. No, okay. So what does it do? Load a map lookup. Okay, so it looks in the map and then it grabs this value here, which is that value. I'm confused as to why it's doing that. Do I need to and? Am I anding the wrong value here? Is it not this one that should be there? Should it be this instead? Maybe. Wait, I've just done the same thing, haven't I? Should it be this? I think that's going to screw everything else up. But it would explain why it's treated as a mine because it's ignoring that upper byte. But it has got the yeah. I bet that's it. Actually, I bet that's it. don't know why I'm trying to kill it. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, but now of course we're getting weird. Right, okay. I think I know what to do. So we do that, but now we do this twice. So we're bringing our value back from the value we've grabbed from the map back to here. But why is it those ones there? That's because we're putting in higher values here. Why is it a high value there? Why is that not? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and then it's the so that's the 3. So that's what that mask is about. That's this mask here. It's saying just grab the entity number. But for some reason, we're passing these values in. I don't know why we're passing those values. Let's see where they're being used. All right, so they're being pushed in here. They're being ORed with the attribute and passed in. Oh, have we? Maybe what we've done then in that case is we've actually moved the data along. Let's have a look. Attributes. Make it the high nibble. Okay, so we get the materials only now, no high nibble. Okay, so materials. This is materials. We add it with this. We shift it to make it the high nibble. Then we add these values in, which is our lower values. So yeah, these are wrong. These should not be these numbers. These should be the shifted by 1. I think that's the problem. Sorry, that should be 6. That should be 8. And that should be 0A. And then in here, that goes back to how it was, like that. That's correct. So this code was correct. I think the script was wrong. I think that was the problem. It's something to do with them. It's to do with the masking. And the reason we're doing that is because of the way that the data works for the map. So the character data for any character in the map is 9 bits, not 4. So that gives us 512 characters, not 8, sorry. So 9 instead of 8 gives us 512 characters instead of 256. That's because we do swap out the font on the fly to allow us to have more characters. So that means there's 7 bits left for the end. We need 4 of them for the materials. So the materials are these numbers that appear on things which tell the game how to explode certain things. For the most part, it's only using, I think, 9 of these. It's the worst case scenario. No, 8 of them. But that does mean we need all the bits. A material of 0 just means there is no explosion pan. Why is those one? Oh, because there's spikes there. So that means we need those bits. So it leaves us only 3 bits for entity descriptions, which means there are 7 types of entity. We may be able to combine some of them later. Yeah, look, that's working now. Look, it's put that blank space in there, which I think is a sign it's working. And they no longer work like that. Okay, right. So the other thing I need to do now is just make sure everything else still works as intended. It looks like it does. It's putting this blank spot in the corner of everything though now. Oh, I couldn't tell you why it's doing that. But that's a sign it's working. That's a sign it's actually this is correct. To Major Tom. Oh my god, the cover stuff tonight has been really. This is really nice. Who's this by? Osmo. Go to Major Tom. So why is it putting that gap in there? Is that to do with the material? It's to do with the material value, isn't it now? It's finding the top left. So if I don't do this, then we miss a bit of the top for some reason. So why are we missing a bit of the top? That could be to do with these materials. It shouldn't be. Wish I'd written a little note to tell me why I was doing that. I don't know why at all. Let's just check everything else is working first. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start right at the beginning of the game, and just go make sure everything else is working fine, and then that gives us an entry point to start doing the checks on the next one. Because there's a few things we need to do. I want to have a think about how the enemy behaviors are going to work and what we can do about kind of simplifying those and extending those a little bit to do. I think dual behaviors is the way to go, and have an entity script that allows you to swap them. Okay, so we should be able to shoot these. Yeah. These are barrels. These should also explode. These are entities as well. They work. Okay, cool. Actually, they're not entities either. They're just persistent data. Lasers should be working on this screen. We should be able to shoot that and open the door. We should be able to go in here and up here to the secret and destroy all of these. Everything seems to be working good so far. I'm just going to play through it a little bit just to make sure everything's working as expected. Let's go down to here. So this is going to be an interesting screen. Yeah, look. It's just missing the top corner on those, but they still explode, I think. No, I don't think they do. Look, they're not flashing anymore. Kind of need to get rid of that mine. I'm gonna get myself killed in here, and then if I can, please die. There we go. Right, and then just gonna stay over here. Shit. Right, this gets quite tense when you ain't got that thing. Yeah, there's definitely some weird multiplexer stuff going on. I don't know what that's about either. We need to figure that out. There's missing stuff. I'm pretty sure it's the explosion. Oh, more ABBA. No, 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 no. Oh, it's a bit too fast. It's a humper version, isn't it? Or it's kind of humper anyway, in a way, I guess. Just one. Mamma mia. I'm not going to sing it, but I freaking love ABBA. Sorry, I really do. Okay, so things just aren't working out there, so we definitely need to put them back. But the question is why? Yeah, I guess that's why it's got a slightly. It's the humper speed, isn't it? That's what it is. And I think the honky tonk kind of side of ABBA is kind of making it sound a bit humpery. Good, it finishes faster. Boo. Boo. Okay, so the problem is so this is what they need to be, right? But what I'm not understanding is why that is the case. So it's doubled and doubled again, right? So double and double again. So that, and doubled and double again. So that, and doubled and double again. So that. The problem is when it does the check, it's doing this, and it's just grabbing these 3 bits, right? And I think that's wrong. Because grabbing these 3, shifting them this way, and that's giving us a value from 0 to 7, and then using that as a lookup table. It's looking in the lookup table to work out what it needs to jump to, basically, to do the behavior. But what I'm trying to understand is, why is this value not here? This is this bit here. It's using these 2 bits here and then 1 from here. I don't get it. But it seems to be the only way these will actually work properly. Or is it a case of these should be like this, and then instead of shifting it, we don't do anything. Instead of doing that, we don't. We just leave it like that. Try that. Honestly, I could listen to ABBA all night. No, cat. No. Go away. One of us is crying. Ah, no, it's not the same. Oh, but they are working though now. Why is that top left missing? That is the weirdest behavior. No, go away. I tell you what, I'm going to finish soon anyway, but what I'm going to do quickly, I'll probably go till past, I think, because I do want to try and figure this out, but I'm not going to waste too much time on it. But I want to see is, because I've taken that out now and I've got the right value in there, I want to see what happens if I start on this map. Do I still get all the right behavior for the turrets? In other words, is the turret back to being a mine again, or is it just going to work correctly now? I think it should work correctly. In which case, the only thing we then need to discover is, why is it removing that top corner from it? Okay, that's good. That's good. That means that behavior is working correctly. Everything else is fine. It's just we're missing the top corner of everything for some weird ass reason. Okay, so it's definitely going to be something to do with end. What happens if I don't register entities on that screen? Well, it's not going to. It's definitely to do with this, isn't it? This is what's doing something. We've definitely got some kind of. Oh, no, there's nothing right into it. All right, let's go into. Let's just turn off the bouncy things in here, because they're getting a bit annoying, aren't they? They're getting in the way. So we turn the Pokeballs off. Why is it not behaving? Have I got a bloody... Yeah, thoughts. Oh no, whatever that is, no. What are you doing, cat? She's just making noises and rolling on the floor. Okay, let's turn off update entities. Let's not do any update. Let's just do the register and see what happens. Let's work our way through this and figure out, because I think that was a bug. I think we were supposed to be allowing up to 8 things, and we would actually only allow in 5 or something. Or 4. Oh my god, who put this on again? Who put that on? Handy. I need to put the requester on the list again. Yeah, I think. Well, actually, I'll probably finish a little bit before. I'll wait. I'll let the dungeon do one more game, and then can keep an eye on that. Okay, so it's definitely to do with registering the entities. If I don't register the entities, does it do nothing? Let's see. So if I just turn this off, because it's only entities and it's only the top left corners of them. So what? What do you want? Stop meowing at me. Come here. You're too cute. Come and say hello. Come on. Come and say hello to everybody. Say hello. Say hello on the thing. Say hello. Come on. One more. No, don't lick my hand. Stop it. You're gross. Okay, so it's on dungeon. All right, one more dungeon, and then I'm going to call it a night. Oh, interesting. I've turned off the registering, and it hasn't affected them. Oh, that is interesting. Hello, challenge. Was it just my arm? Oh, banhammer, banhammer. I don't want to do it because I'll accidentally ban somebody else. That's what I did last time. Oh man, I can't do it. Thank you. Whoever did that, thank you. Guessing it was Andy. Yeah, I like banning things. It's cool, the feeling of power, even though it wasn't me. Bismarcus, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. Okay. Oh yeah, don't fight that. To skip past. That's a difficult fight. Scorch is a hard fight, so you need another. You need at least another defense or another dice. No, no one's won yet. That's fine. The difficulty adjustment's going to come in soon, and I'm going to add rollovers. So all the games will have rollovers. So if you don't win, I'm going to put half of the. Oh my god, have you started? Oh no, you fled. All right. It's going to put half of the winnings into a rollover pot, so you will just keep getting more and more and more and more, higher and higher prizes. All right, what is going on here? Why is it just on the entities, even though I don't register them? Does it do that? Right. So what have I got in here? Deregister. Okay. Wait, is it the deregister? No, it can't be. Do I have to register them first? Let's just turn the D right. So nothing to do with the entities on this screen. There's nothing on the other one as well. Not that this would be getting called at all anyway. I'm just going to turn it off. Why would changing that value fix it? Why would changing that value in memory? Oh, is it to do with the map data? Maybe. Wait. Oh, I think I know. It's to do with this again. I think I know. Okay, so the value we get from the map is a 9-bit value. So we should be getting a list of characters. Here we go. So these are all the characters that are being output. Then the map is basically, as we go through, yeah, I think this is what's happening, because the top corner is the bit that gets registered. That's the bit that has the entity attached to it. This is the bit that has the entity value attached to it. So I think what's happening is that value is overriding some lower value, right? So there's obviously 2 bits and not 1 bit that I was thinking. So if I look in, it's the map loader code. It has to be the map loader code. A bit of .cosmos again. Do you know what? I know I made this tune, but I really it doesn't grate on me at all. I'm really happy with it. Like I say, I'm not very good at doing music, but because this took me days to write. But what I did was just listen to it on a loop until it got to the point where it was no longer bugging me, and then I was like, "Well, that must be all right then. If it's no longer bugging me, it must be okay." And it seems to work. I'm quite pleased. Well, it doesn't bother me. I'm sure it bothers everybody else, but so I think what's happening is when we load the map, we're using 10 bits instead of 9. And so what's happening is when it gets the top left corner, it's now got this value attached to it, right? It's got this value that's got some of the bits set, and so it's reading that 10th bit. So what we're seeing, let me just check my logic here. That would mean that every one of these has the second bits. No, because that one hasn't. 6 Sprites mines was fine. So aim turrets will be fine as well, but this won't. So anytime that bit is set, it's going to break. So while the data is correct, we're expecting, even though our font is only 432, we're expecting up to 1024 characters, which, yeah, that's what it is. It's the map loader code. So, God, I haven't touched this in fucking ages. So we need to figure out where it's getting that upper bit from. And so there's probably in here, there's probably an and 03 or something. Yes, to do. Change for 512 characters. So this just needs to be that. Hey, fucking brains working tonight. Can you make the font? Oh yeah, have I not made... Sorry if it was a bit small. I think I've fixed it now anyway. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so what was happening? Let me explain what was happening. So this is the format we decided on. But this format was decided on a little while after writing the map code. So the map loader code was written a long time before that. Let me put a note in here. So limit what we were doing is we basically, when I first did the map loader, I'd done it like this. I'd allowed for 10 bits in the map, which would have allowed, so this is your character index. Is each piece of the map as a character index. Is that big enough, by the way, Steps? I'll make it a bit bigger. I don't know why it was so small, actually. Yeah, so every character in the map has an index, right? Now, normally these indexes go from 0 to 255. I'm using 8-bit number on one font. But I wanted to have more than that. Our font is actually 432 or something, 432. So the idea is we'd use 9 bits. However, when I first made the map load, I thought, well, we'll use 1024 because at the time, the map hadn't been optimized. There were lots of duplicate characters that were just shifted by one or were too big or whatever. So I thought 10 bits was the solution. So the map loader code was taking the MSB, so this piece here, all this data here, and it was handing it with 3 to get a 10-bit value. So an 8-bit LSB and then a 2-bit MSB, which was happening in the map loader here. So what that meant was this was actually how the data was stored. The map loader was expecting it in this format, but this is the format I was getting. So it meant these entity numbers, which are these ones here. Music's a bit loud now. These entity numbers, when they were coming in, they were basically, so the reason why they're shifted is because of this bit here. They're shifted just so that they can be added directly into this. You don't have to shift them. So they were coming in as there was actually we started at 4, right? So we'd actually shifted them incorrectly, so they were going like so. They were weird. But then what I did is I fixed that by setting these values here. But then we got a piece missing in the corner. The reason we got a piece missing is because if you imagine this mine, that's going to be like that. So that meant when it read the map, it was actually seeing, let's say the value was 0 down here. Let's say it was 1, right? So this is you can see in the map here it's this character. But what it was reading instead was this, because it was seeing this 1 here. And this is character 513, which doesn't exist. So it was reading blank space in the character set, empty space. And so we were seeing a blank. And the reason we didn't see it on the 6 spike mines was because that is actually this. So it was seeing that, which is correct. The 4 spike mines are this. So it was going to see this. It would have broken. The aim turrets would have been this, which again would have shown this and not shown it. And the new turrets that we're putting in now would have been that, which would have shown that. So that's what the error is about. So hopefully you got that. Not that you're paying attention, because I'm sure you're very, very busy playing this. Oh, you got 2 dice. You got 3 death. Okay, that's not too bad. You could get lucky with a boss. Not. Hey, stop chewing my wires. Oh, damn it, cat. You're annoying. Come on, stop it. Come over here. Come on, why don't you come up here? Come and sit up here for a bit. No? All right. Screw you then. Okay, so hopefully that made some sense. You got 6 turns in this game. You opened a chest. Okay, clip it and let me know, and I will check it out. You shouldn't have done. That's weird that you did, but don't tell them about the unlimited. But it better not be unlimited potion. I'll be looking back through these. I'm going to play a few of these anyway. Okay, so anyway, that's what was causing the problem. And now it's fixed. That means that these values are correct. So we have got room for 7. And I've put 5 in so far. So we've got room for 2 more, which means that turret will actually behave like a turret now. I mean, it won't do anything, but it is there. So okay, cool. I'm just gonna watch the rest of this, and then I'm gonna end the stream, I think. So let me see how you go on this. I'm intrigued, and we'll do the turret on the next one. So we didn't quite finish this map, this screen yet, but that's not bad. Oh, do you notice I changed the color of the sword as well? I made the sword the sword yellow, so it stood out differently to the thing. You need to fight the boss 2-3. You've got 6 minutes left. Open the chest, man. That's what I'd be doing. Hello. Come up here. Say hello. Come on. No. Say hello. No. Ooh. Purring your head off, though, aren't you? You're enjoying this. You just want to get down all the time, though. Did Steps fall asleep? Steps. Steps. He's going to run out of time soon anyway. It's you now, Cosmin, so. Game, what about? Oh, more attack. Nice. You're in a good state now. You've got more health. 3 attack. You could probably go for the boss. I'm looking at the wrong screen. It's over there, much bigger. You've got 2 cure poisons. You've covered the entire map now as well. Can you remember where the boss is, though? Ah, thank you. He was doing a clip. Excellent. I will check that out. Just mute it. That was 1. 2. Good luck with the fight, by the way, guys. Okay, so you picked the sword up. Oh, and then it still let you carry on. Okay. Oh, okay. Cool. Thank you, Steps. I will check that out. I'm not sure what that's about, but I shall investigate. Thank you very much. Oh my god, you might actually win this. It's a fair fight. It's 3 against 3. Oh my god. Oh my god, you're actually gonna do it. Awesome. Come on, guys. Stop licking my hands, for God's sake. Not you, chat. The cat. I know you guys aren't licking my hands. Oh my god, you can't lose now. Come on. Holy shit. Well done, guys. I guess I better program a game over now. Program a win condition. Oh, why is the game not ending? The game should have ended by now. Oh, there we go. Oh, the timers are a bit off. Holy shit, awesome. Ah, okay, scrap that game now. We don't need any more. No, I'm gonna add some additional shit into that game to make it a bit harder and easier and stuff. So that's cool. That's the first complete, right? You guys haven't done it before, so that was pretty good. Nice. Well done. Yeah. No, it was meant. It was supposed to be easier than it has been, to be honest. But yeah, and it will get. It will. I will add stuff to it as well. Like I think the rollover stuff is going to be kind of nice because it means as you play it, you will gain more. So like then you only won 30,000 because there's only 3 of you playing. But in reality, with the rollover stuff, what would happen is you probably lost that game. You probably lost at that like 20 times, right? So you'd get 20 times whatever the rollover value. Say 3 people played it every time. You'd get 330,000. So you'd get a lot more. So enemies also move. What do you mean? Oh, to different rooms and stuff. Oh, they chase you. That would be crazy. Yeah. So at the moment, the prizes are set for the same for every game. So it's the number of people times the entry fee. Did that? Yeah. She didn't stay up there long. What did she do? Did she jump straight back down again? See, that's good. That means it's doing its job. She got up there and looked at the spikes and went, "Nah, screw that." Hello. She's in a really kind of loving mood at the moment. She wants attention. Um, yeah. So what the change I'm going to make is that if you lose the game, half the money goes into a prize pool that gets carried over between games and between streams, not between individual games. Like each game will have its own rollover pool. So if you keep losing at dungeon and then you win at the Dank Souls and then you win, you'll get that rollover. So yeah. And I really like Cosmin's idea of having after 3 rounds you can choose to flee or drink a potion or something like that. So, well, Nicomo, that's what I'm thinking with the difficulty thing. So what I'm considering doing is having the difficulty go up and down based on whether you win or lose. So the idea being that it tries to make sure that you win about 50% of the time. But then what I'll do is if you get to a certain, if your skill starts getting higher and higher, so say your baseline is 1500 score, right? And you slowly get that up and you manage to get to 1600. At 1600, it could change the graphics as well. So it will get harder automatically, but I might add more graphical layering into it as well. So anyway, that's yeah, it is going to be like matchmaking. It's going to be a very similar system. I'm kind of basing it on the way they score ELO for chess, but even though it's only one, you're just playing against the AI, I'll still be able to create a kind of game score which can be used to build your ELO score. It's not going to be exactly ELO, but I'm kind of calling it that internally on the code. So, all right, let's go and find someone to raid, and then we'll continue streaming tomorrow. So I'll be back on tomorrow. Just going to play Wipeout tomorrow night, get some of those achievements. Clippers on Star Fox. We need some new. Has anyone got any good recommendations to Vuta Raid? We need some new ones, don't we? We can live Chanter Raid. I don't know. Anyone got some new ones? Grand Chest Opener. Let's type retro and see what comes up. The smaller streamers. Elden Ring, that's not retro. Oh, the name is retro. Retro commercials. No, that's not interesting. Oh, I don't know who to pick. Quiz and Race in 3 minutes. Oh, no, I want to go to bed. I'm knackered. Chumlum is playing out. All right, Chumlum, let's do that. We need some new people, so... Yeah, 10 people. That's kind of perfect. All right, cool. All right, guys. We'll raid Chumlum then. Thank you very much for coming along tonight. If you want to watch an old man be really shit at Wipeout, then join me tomorrow and we'll carry that on. And might play some Lego on Saturday. I've got Lego movie game as well today, so might play that instead of Ninjago. I'm not sure yet. All right, take care, guys, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Cheerio.